Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton and Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Monday. Maybe a case of the Mondays. Haven't had one of those in a while. Because the Kings, I keep on saying, I say doors blown off a lot. We say blowout, doors blown off, annihilated. We have to think of something new because this is a trend. So every fourth game, the Kings, they didn't show up. Mike Brown's personal favorite, they kicked our behind, okay? That could be a bingo card. Yeah. A bingo card for the Sacramento Kings season. Oh, wow, I got the fourth game of a homestand or of a rotation. I got the blowout. Mark that one. Yeah. Oh, wow. Coach said they kicked our behind. Mark that one. Oh, wow. Keon Ellis is the one taking the podium. Mark that one. Yep. There'd be a bingo every 2 seconds. Kingo would be the ultimate bingo where you get every single thing. They get their doors detached. Okay? Detached. 133 to 100. All right? You need to give those good people of Sacramento their money back from the 916, from the 209. Where else am I forgetting, Chris?
I don't know. I know the Sacramento has a new area code because they used all the 916. So whatever
that one is, I think it's give them their money back. Give them at least 50% off to buy a jersey, buy something, because they went out there. They said, you know what? Even though you can't do it against the Pelicans, we believe. They spent their Sunday. Yep. They skipped church. They skipped family dinner, and everybody showed up. The kids showed up. It was family night. The parents showed up. Yeah. Slamson showed up. Yeah. You know who didn't show up? The Kings. Yeah. The Kings didn't show up. The Pelicans showed up. Hey, we're ready to go. Yeah.
Not even all the Pelicans showed up either.
You know what? You know what, Kings? We know we've given you a rough go. Yeah. We're going to go no Zion.
Yeah.
No Zion.
And that was a slap in the face, too, because that was like even if you guys do beat us today, like, you can't even say you beat us at full strength. So, like, can you really even take some confidence? Even the Pelicans were giving them that little nugget, and the Kings couldn't even capitalize on it. So,
they couldn't do it.
Gross.
They couldn't do it. So we have plenty to get to.
Almost too much.
With the Kings. NFL playoffs are here. At least you got the Niners talking about, Jason Ross saying cleanse the palate with the crumble cookies. We will be cleansing the palate with the Niners, even though they lost yesterday. And, hey, if you're a Brock Purdy hater, I don't think Sam Darnold really did you too much help there. Right. I mean, he didn't look bad.
Too much damage. I guess.
Right. He didn't look bad, but I don't think anybody's saying, man.
No.
Now, he did look good with the first group, but it was not Brock. Yeah, it was not Brock. He can spin it, but it was not Brock Purdy. So we'll talk NFL playoffs and the different situations for the Niners. We will also have Emil Fergoso at 11 a.m. Not going to want to miss that as we discuss all things Niners and the playoffs. And all right, if there are any double agents out there listening, okay, yes, this is a King station, but the most polarizing person has returned to the microphone besides myself and Chris Watkins. Draymond Green has dropped his podcast. He re-signs with the volume, a full media rollout. Yeah. He's on some type of stage. It looks like he's not in his hotel room like normally. He's on some type of stage. He's talking about crying. He's talking about he thought about retiring Adam Silver. Yeah. He said a lot. You listened to the whole thing. I did. I've gotten through about 50% of it. So we're breaking down all of those clips and what that means for Draymond and the team in the Warriors who also got blown out. But I'm paying attention, Chris. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting, right? Because same idea. Okay, because my timelines, I have both because of my background. So I got my Kings my Kings tweets, everybody is freaking out. And then the Warriors are getting blown out. I think they made it close at one point because I had a tweet ready. And then in about the third quarter, they got it to 15. I thought, okay, I might have to put it away. Then they eventually get their doors taken off as well. And people are leaving. They are booing in the Chase Center. And you know what I'm waiting for? Mm-hmm. Well, who's going to speak?
Exactly.
Okay. So I'm refreshing. I'm texting you, Brendan, Frankie. Who's going to speak? First person I see Moses Moody. I think, yeah. Okay. Maybe the smoke was a little too much. Mm-hmm. All right. From Sacramento media and Keon Ellis being the one to speak. I'm looking. Oh, and then I see Klay Thompson speak. Klay Thompson talking about being a champion. Oh, okay. Then I see Steph Curry speak.
Oh, that's three of them.
Steph Curry had 9 points. Terrible game. Mm-hmm. De'Aaron Fox had 3.
And you know what's even crazier? Those were the first 3 points of the game.
And then he just said, I'm straight.
I'm good. He said, I'm good.
There will be no more MVP talk. That is, if you go in timeout, put your kid in timeout, grounded.
Yeah.
MVP talk is grounded.
Yeah. As
far as I'm concerned for De'Aaron Fox. For a multitude of reasons, but there's no need in talking about that. Championship talk is grounded. Yeah. There's no need in talking about that. And
can we still do All-Star?
We can do All-Star.
Okay.
We can do All-Star. Hey, go out and vote.
Go vote.
Go out and vote.
Go vote.
Gotta go vote.
Hey, you see that game yesterday?
Go vote.
Go vote.
Give them a vote for each point they scored. De'Aaron gets 3 votes. 3 votes. All right. So, I don't even want to spend time talking about the actual game because there's nothing to talk about.
No, there really
Let's just get out the way. Keon Ellis looked good.
I'll give you some Pelican facts if you want.
I think I'm good.
That fourth quarter was spent looking at a lot of Pelican facts.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of time. There's plenty of time for that.
Just so you know.
They can do that out in New Orleans, okay? They can eat their beignets and enjoy the fact that they own.
No, just facts about Pelican, like the birds. I can give you facts. That's what I did with my fourth quarter.
There are a lot of bird watchers out there. There are a lot of bird watchers out there.
You did
a lot of bird watchers out there. And that's what we were doing yesterday as we watched the Pelicans destroy the Kings. And I'm telling you right now, as far as the game is concerned, let's just get it out the way. It was nice to see Kevin Huerter get going a little bit. It was nice to see Keon Ellis, who no clue why he got taken out of the rotation because Davion had a good second half against the Hawks. And now all of a sudden Keon can't get back on the floor. Keon came right back in, was hitting threes while it was still a respectable game, mind you, before it was over. And then it was over, and Keon continued to play. Got to see a little bit of Colby Jones, Kessler Edwards, a couple guys. It was a G League showcase. That's what it was. But instead of Stockton, they decided, hey, guys, it'd be really nice for family night if we do the G League showcase. In
Stockton, Sacramento, it's all a family.
Right. We want to get you to the big boy. It's like when JV, if the away team, the varsity team is playing away, so the JV team gets to use the big boy court.
Right.
That's what it was last night. So I hope that's what you plan on paying for, Sacramento. I hope that's what you plan on paying for, okay? And I promise you we won't be this sarcastic throughout the whole show.
Just the first segment.
But to just I was going to say show up, but they didn't. But to arrive at the arena, knowing everything that's happened. And Malik Monk.
We owe him.
We owe him one. Yeah. You owe him another blowout?
Yeah.
You owe him another W? Here you go, Chris. Here you go. They love getting blown out. Death taxes and the Kings getting blown out every fourth game of the season. This is from our guy, Frankie Cardicelli. He pulled these numbers. So I don't have to.
Well, I thought Frankie only posted positive things.
Yeah, that's right. Just a company man. Here you go. Sacramento Kings have lost 14 games this season. 7 of their 14 losses have been by 15 or more. Okay. They've lost by 36. You know who that was to? The Pelicans. Yep. Then they lost by 33. You know who that was to?
If you say the Pelicans.
It was the Pelicans. Last night was 33.
Oh, okay.
100 to 133. After that, lost by 25. Lost by 25.
I think those are both Rockets.
Probably. Lost by 20. Lost by 18. At least you're out of the 20s. And then lost by 17.
Woo. How many losses do the Kings have this year? Like 13, 14? I think it's 14 now.
That's 7 of them. 50% of your losses, you could have just stayed home and rested your bodies.
That's bad. That's why we keep coming on this show. And, for 2 days, like you said, or 3 games, we'll talk positive. We'll talk, oh my gosh, what's this team got to do kind of, break through what's the ceiling. And then we're talking ripping out the trade machine the next day. And it's because of the lack of stability, but also the major fluctuation of just like, if you're going to lose, it's one thing to lose by 8 points, keep it competitive throughout the game. Maybe that other team maybe they are better than you. Maybe they do present a difficult challenge for you. You can still lose by 8 and still have some positive feelings. But when you lose by 17, 18, 19, 35, 36 points, it's like great teams don't do that. Look at the losses for the Oklahoma City Thunder this year. I guarantee they probably, if they even do have a 30-point loss, there's no way there's multiple.
No.
And there's no way that they have 4 losses by more than 20 points. It's not something that actual good teams do. And so to me, it just tells me that, yes, this team can get away with winning some games. They're a good collection of talent, but there's something wrong with this team that needs to be addressed. And if you're getting blown out like that, like yesterday is a kind of game where, to me, if you're Monty McNair, I don't know how you watch that game and not say, we need to make a move now, like sooner rather than later, like in this week. Like, I know the Kings before the Kings come back on January 18th to play the Pacers. To me, if they continue to look like this, I know they're playing Detroit and Charlotte, so that might be perfect timing. It could be the worst timing ever. To me, after watching that game, I would say, look, I'm definitely at least picking up the phones today. I don't know if I'm making a deal today, but I'm definitely got to gauge what's going on around here, because I have to do something, or else, Monty's done great. He won Executive of the Year. I'm not calling for his job at all, but you got to do something. You can't have 2 trade deadlines in a row of doing absolutely nothing when there's clear needs for your team. And you could argue there's a window to be had here that you can jump through.
What do we always say on this show, Chris? Exceeding expectations is easier than meeting them. Monty McNair, Coach Mike Brown, last season, they exceeded expectations because the expectations were so low because they've been in the playoffs for 16 years. Yeah. This is the first time they're operating with expectations. So no, you can't just stand pat and not do anything. Look at this homestand. We got to get to a break. Look at this homestand. The 4 games. You lost to the Hornets, okay? You went double overtime with the Magic without Franz Wagner, right? Okay? You almost messed around and lost to the Raptors. I'll give you that. That was a W. Sure. I'll give you that W. And then you get your doors blown off. Yeah. That's not good.
No.
That's not good.
It's not good at all. And then you can throw the Portland loss on there a couple games before, and then almost losing to Atlanta as well. They are and sandwiched in between those because they are Memphis. The Kings is their best win of the season.
They are playing with fire every single time they take the court, and I'm scared of going to Detroit. I'm scared. If you're a Kings fan and you're at that game, over. We're praying for you. Yeah, we're praying for you. All right, got to get to a break, and this is basically how we're gonna break this thing down, man. So there is the X's and O's side of this. To where let's try to figure out what is going wrong. That's what we're going to do when we get back from the break. Then later on in the show, about 11:30, then we're going to talk about the foundational issues that we think might be happening. And that's where we're going to talk about the podium. That's where we're going to talk about media availability. That's at 11:30. Sandwiched in between that, we got Draymond talk at 10:30. We got Emil Fergoso at 11, and we're talking Niners matchup. So when we get back, it's X's and O's. Later on in the show is when we talk about the leadership or lack thereof with the Kings. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the 3. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Emil Fregoso joins us at 11. We will be breaking down all things Niners playoffs and who they could, would, and should play based on who wins. We also, later on in the show, will talk about yesterday and week 18 and what we should make of this NFL season. I'll tell you what, when I look at that bracket, I just don't see the Niners losing. I don't. And I saw Bill Barnwell had I know who he had in the NFC. I believe he had the Chiefs beating the Cowboys. He was on with Scott Van Pelt last night.
Wait, what?
And I just don't understand the obsession with the Cowboys. He had the Chiefs beating the Cowboys, I think 27-13 or something like that.
To me, the Chiefs are the more egregious one.
Yeah,
I can see how
true.
if there's ever going to be a year,
I'm 90% sure it was the Chiefs because I would have remembered the Ravens.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was the Chiefs. It wasn't the Bills. So yeah, that's who he had. And I think it's just humans being creatures of what they're used to.
Well, also Chiefs Cowboys definitely is like if you're on ESPN, that's a really nice more graphic to show, right?
Yes.
Is hey, here's the funnest player in the NFL against the biggest brand. Like, So it's almost ESPN central casting right there.
Maybe it's more about that. So the Sack Chat, got to shout out the Sack Chat as we always do. I see Scooter 916 talking about, well, the ins and outs of the media availability. That's what we're going to tackle at 11:30 because they did speak. A lot of the players, I don't know if a lot is the correct term, but players did speak in the locker room. We are talking about who got sent to the podium, and we will give you kind of an inside look at all that. We're not just going to shoot from the hip here, so don't worry. We got that for you. Let's get to the X's and O's for now, though, because no Zion, and the length is an issue, as we all already know. And every game, it feels like I'm in the pregame presser, and you are too, with Coach Mike Brown. These guys are long, these guys are big. That's just the whole league. So what are you going to do? Not to bring this back to trades, but what are you going to do? Right? It's I don't really find this to be a Pelican specific problem. No, I don't know. I don't know why the Kings are able to beat the Thunder. Right? Maybe some teams just give other teams trouble. But this isn't the Pelicans aren't the one-off long team in the league. So I don't know that this is a Pelican thing. I think the Pelicans just have ownage at this point. Shout out Crook and Kipe. They just have ownage over the Kings right now. And the other thing I wanted to kind of talk about, and I hate to speculate here, but De'Aaron, he does not look right.
He does not. He
doesn't look right. No. And
3 points?
3 points.
Come on.
He doesn't look
1 of
right.
10, I think.
He's still powering through trying to guard CJ. And we said this the last game. If you're not right, brother, you should not be guarding their best guard because it's not helping anybody. CJ's going off.
Pride working against you. Really.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, to me, to start with the length thing, I do think that the length is a problem for this team. You mentioned OKC. I feel like there are teams that are excessive length. I think OKC has length, but Shea is 6'6". He's definitely got length, but they're not overwhelming. They got Jalen Williams, who's like 6'7", not crazy long. Josh Giddey. They're not like super long. I mean, Chet's a center. When I think of a long team, I think teams like the Clippers, who have Paul George, Kawhi, James Harden. You have, the T-Wolves have Jaden McDaniels. They've got Anthony Edwards. They've got Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert and Naz Reid in some lineups and Kyle Anderson. That's a long team. New Orleans, they have Herb Jones. They've got Brandon Ingram, who's got a go-go gadget arms. They've got Trey Murphy, who didn't even get in yesterday. And then you got Zion as well. Like, they present real length. And to me, yesterday in the pregame press conference was the best I've heard someone describe why length is so bothersome. Mike Brown just kind of said, it's like when you're playing against, I guess, normal NBA players, the guys who don't have exceptional length, there's certain passing lanes that are there. You're used to taking 3 steps into the lane and before you meet somebody. But when you play a team with length, everything gets cut down a little bit. That passing lane that normally is wide open, well, with that extra little bit of arm and that little extra hand, now that's in the passing lane. And now instead of 3 steps to get there, well, since they've got their hand out, they now meet you at about 2.5 steps. So everything's got to be sharp. Everything's got to be not only on time, but maybe even early. And that's just a completely different mindset. And you got to, when you can't match that length at any point, you just always have to be locked on. And I think that's why this Kings team just cannot find an answer, is because they can't ever match the length. They don't have lineups that allow them. They never go Keegan Murray at the 2, HB at the 3, Trey at the 4, and Sasha at the 5, whatever. Like, they don't ever go with length. And so they're always having to beat their other teams with pace, with just smarts, and trying to be early on everything. And I think a lot of the time they just kind of forget it. And I think that's why Mike Brown has said, even yesterday, he's like, this isn't really an X's and O's things. It's more, these guys just aren't doing what we're telling them. And it's kind of an effort thing as well.
It's a speculation sensation already on this show. And you know what, man? I think that Coach Mike Brown is saying certain things in the press conference, and I don't know if he's actually talking to the media, and I don't know if he's actually talking to the team. I'm starting to feel like he's talking to Monty McNair.
Yep. The man upstairs. Saying,
I don't think the issue is our game plan. We do the same conversation with the Giants. This is what's in my fridge. Okay? And I think I'm doing pretty darn well with what's in the fridge. All right? But when you get to a point, Chris, this is when I would have left last night. When Cody Zeller made a 3 and was showing out. He was showing out.
He was.
I got to get my money back.
That's crazy.
I'm going to guest services.
I didn't pay for that.
I'm going to guest services and say, hey, this is not what I paid for.
No.
Okay? I'm going to guest services. Because that's absurd.
No, that's nuts.
He was having the time of his life. I've never seen someone have so much fun. It was a party.
It was crazy.
And everybody was invited. Besides the Kings.
I think I heard, shout out Deuce. I think I heard Deuce say that was the first 3 Cody Zeller's made since 2021.
Stop it.
So it's been 3 years since he hit a 3.
You can't see these guys in the playoffs. It's over now.
Oh, it's over. It's over. This is a avoid at all costs. Yes. This is a, hey, if the Kings are like a 6 seed and the Pelicans are a 3 seed or vice versa, we got to do whatever we can to make that not happen. Like, I don't care if they're tanking, if they're loot. Like, this is an avoid at all costs. Even if you think, the Kings won't get swept. The Kings cannot beat this team 4 times.
They can't.
They cannot, as currently constructed,
can't beat them once.
Beat this team. Yeah, they can't even beat them once. So why? There's nothing to show. I know sometimes it happens where regular season record happens and then postseason is a different story. This is not one of those times. The Pelicans, I would put the Clippers in that conversation. I for sure would put Minnesota in that conversation with how they're playing now. Those are a void at all cost opponents.
Chris.
Yeah.
Only 8 teams make the playoffs. And
that's what I keep hearing.
That's 4, including the Kings. That's 4 teams.
Yeah. So what's that tell you? You should probably change something up, right?
It says, Monty, get on the phone. All right, got to get to a break. Speaking of phones, we are opening up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. All guests and callers, join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. 916-339-1140. Are we overreacting? Are you worried about the Kings? How are you feeling after their 7th blowout out of their 14 losses? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing to keep the Grinch away from the toy drive.
Who's going to deliver the toys to the kids?
What about me, the Grinch?
No.
Yep, even easier than that.
You steal the presents one time.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Capital One and a member FDIC. Copyright Dr. Seuss Enterprises. Copyright Turner Entertainment Company.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Get $3 off coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get to the action in Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Visit sportsexpos.com for locations, seminars, and show info. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
It's time to buck up Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We will be joined by Emil Fregoso at 11 to talk Niners, playoff expectations, and playoff situations. Here you go for all you plus-minus people out there. Domantas Sabonis was a minus 32. Harrison Barnes was a minus 13. Keegan Murray was a minus 31. De'Aaron Fox was a minus 30. Duarte, minus 19. Vezenkov, minus 24. Malik Monk, minus 26. JaVale McGee, minus 17. You get to some pluses. Kessler Edwards, a plus 7. Colby Jones, plus 12. Alex Len, a plus 14. Here you go.
They turned that 50-point loss into a 30.
That's right.
Loss. Thank you.
That's right.
Appreciate
On
it.
the text line 209. Yo, my dad and I have had season tickets for 20 of the last 26 years.
Whoa.
I'm 30. I took my 1-year-old son to his first game yesterday.
Brother.
I thought things were going to be different for him. Ha ha. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, 209.
That's what we like to call generational trauma.
Give him his money back.
Yeah.
Give him something.
Think about the kids.
Think about the kids, all right? They're going to be scared of Pelicans.
My goodness.
For the whole life.
Oh.
916-339-1140 on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Let's go to Doug, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Doug? You're on Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Good morning, gentlemen. Love your show. I was at the game yesterday, and it was
sorry to hear that.
Disheartening. Disheartening was the best way I could describe it. I just watched them put up shot after shot, and they were making shots. And the shots we were getting weren't good shots for us. We had open looks, and I'm okay with that. I knew that we didn't go in and match up well with them because of the previous results. So I wasn't expecting a lot. I said, well, maybe we could get it closer, and it just went the other way. So for me, for Monty, it is you can only do two things. You can either change your players or change your players. And I mean, either you coach them up and they get better and there's potential there, or you change your players by getting new ones.
Right.
Last year, we snuck up on people because we didn't have the injury bug. Well, they went in and everybody got healthy and they got some more improvements in their rosters, and we didn't get very much. So this is where we are, and they hear the booing and stuff. You know, I've been through it, so I've been going to Kings fans for games and stuff as a fan for over 25 years. So that's kind of where we're at. So if we don't go in and make a big move, in the sense that if we screw this up and get it wrong, it'll still set us back another 2 or 3 years by trying to make a deal that ends up blowing up in our face. So love your show. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much.
Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Doug.
I wish we could be as calm as Doug.
Yeah.
He's like, man, it's all right. Like sometimes you lose by 50 at home, and it's fine.
Well, if you got, I guess those were the expectations. You know, I like Doug's note about you either change your players or change your players. That first one is not happening. The one where you coach your players up, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a large enough sample size.
Yes. And that's not to say the Kings are bad. Yeah. That's not to say they're not a good team.
5th seed in the West.
They're good. They're good. You are what your record says you are. Mm-hmm. You are good enough to beat the teams for the most part you're supposed to beat. You can mess around and beat a team maybe that you shouldn't beat, but you also lose to some teams that you shouldn't lose to. Yeah. And if I'm looking at the rest of the West, you just named off 3 teams that you don't think that they match up well against, and they can make the playoffs.
I didn't even say the defending champs.
You didn't even say the Nuggets. So I'm looking here at what the Kings were able to do last season. You had the Grizzlies that had Ja Morant. They were the 2 seed. The Nuggets, they took care of business. After that, you had the Suns that had KD, or they got KD.
Didn't really play much.
Right, they got KD throughout that season.
Yeah, second half of the season, and then he got hurt, twisted his ankle in the first home game, and really, I think he played like under 15 games.
The Clippers weren't whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clippers just clippered.
Right. They were the 5 seed. The Warriors had a Rumble Royale. They were punching people. We'll get to Draymond Green in a second here as the 6th seed. The Lakers did the last second or the trade deadline stuff, and they made the push. And the Timberwolves, I guess the Timberwolves definitely, that was their first year getting used to their new group. So they definitely did not perform as well as people thought. So now going to this season, we knew the Thunder would make a leap. They made that leap. The Timberwolves now have played together for a year. They're more used to it. The Clippers add James Harden for however much you like James Harden or don't like James Harden. It's working right now. The Nuggets are still the Nuggets. So you swapped out the Suns and the Grizzlies for 4 teams,
right,
that are now rolling, right? And you, as the Kings, haven't changed. You just stayed the same. Yep. Now, I don't really blame Monty McNair for staying the same, but now we know it's not good. We know it's not good enough now.
Yeah,
that's the problem. We know it's not good enough. And hear this. They're not done on a national level. You got to go to Philly. And that's nationally televised.
I told you I didn't want that.
That was January 12th, I believe.
I don't want it.
Okay?
I don't want that.
Then you got to go to Milwaukee. And Milwaukee isn't playing great.
No.
But you got to go to Milwaukee.
Yeah. Got to deal with Giannis.
So this could get worse before it gets better.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, because that's the same trip, when they come back
January
for the return,
18th.
Hallie's coming home. When they come back for that game, we'll see who's still in the uniform.
And imagine if nothing has happened by then. And then imagine what happens.
Depends on what happened on the road trip.
But if Tyrese Halliburton comes in this building on January 18th and lights it on fire, has a 35 and 11 with no turnovers, and the Kings lose by 15, Tyrese Halliburton is telling the crowd, like, oh, yeah, let me hear it. I know you miss me.
Oh, stop
You're trying to tell me nothing's going to happen?
Stop it.
I don't know. I don't think Monty McNair is thinking about that moment, as he shouldn't, but to your point, things could get a whole lot worse if they continue to just stand pat and say, maybe we'll wait. Maybe we'll see what opportunity presents itself. I think, if Monty wants to make something of this year, if he wants to truly say, like, no, we're going for it, because to me, the offseason said, hey, we're okay with running it back. What happened last year, and I don't want to put my stamp down and say we're definitely trying to make a move, because what happens is if you go out there and sign a Kyle Kuzma, and that's a definite, okay, we're trying to upgrade on last season. Well, now you talk about expectations. Well, now expectations are you have to be better, and so I feel like Monty has kind of waited to put that stamp down to say no, we're going for it. I think he's got to do it. I think he's got to officially say, like, no, this Kings team, we're not trying to flounder anymore. We're actually trying to be a part of the conversation.
So here would be the argument.
And I flipped my tune on this, man. It's crazy, because, like, if you asked me 2 weeks ago, I probably would have been more when we were doing the roundtable.
I can't wait for the roundtable. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, no, timeline. And,
Wednesday.
Why rush, all that stuff. And it's like, I just can't see this stuff anymore. I cannot continue to watch this team get blown out the way they have, and perform poorly when they don't knock down shots, and just continue to say, it's fine. When we hit shots, we're good. But when we don't, we're just useless.
My argument to not make a crazy move is that, to be completely honest with you, I think even if you make a move at this trade deadline, you're really doing it for next season anyway. And the reason I say that is because we have this conversation, this trade deadline stuff, and we can pull the numbers. How many champions have come from a big move?
Well, even the Sabonis move, like, it didn't change that half season.
It didn't change that half season.
It changed the season after. Everything completely changed. But to your point, we had Sean from Locked On Raptors on Friday, and he said pretty much the same thing. He said Pascal Siakam specifically isn't a guy that you can just throw into your roster. Like, he's somebody who kind of requires a lot of attention and a lot of, just delicate balance, because he's somebody who's used to being the number one option. And if you bring him over here to Sacramento and say, hey, it's De'Aaron 1, Sabonis 2, usually it's been Malik 3, and if not even sometimes Malik 2. So you got to figure out where you fall. Like, that's not an easy thing to figure out on the fly, and then say, oh yeah, not only figure that out, but, like, we need to be, like, figuring that out really soon so we can have success this season.
My argument to still do it is because in the summer, they're not going to be any less suitors. Right? You're going to be battling with more. There might be I've seen it on the Sac chat. I've seen it on the text line. Hey, in summer, there's going to be more players. True. There will also be more teams solely, that's their sole focus right now. So you're almost, if I have to pay a higher price to get somebody on a contract, that's why I'm out on Pascal Siakam. If you have to pay a bit of a higher price to lock somebody down before you get to the summer and everybody is looking, right? And say what you want, you go back and forth about the different NBA cities, and you're battling with the Miami, and you're battling with other cities that maybe are viewed as not better, but just, bigger in general. I don't know if I want to get in that mix. 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Mitch, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Mitch? You're on Stiles and Watkins.
How we doing, guys? Chris.
Good. What you got for us?
I think it was New Orleans. I mean, they have a big lineup, and they didn't even have the big fella. He's like a nose tackle there that can play some basketball. I just wish he had more size in our lineup, even the guard position. I'm just the center and it's the guy that plays next to Fox. So, Fox is the off guard. To me, they got to do something about it. They got to get more size and go deep into the squad. I know I say almost half the things I repeat every time I'm on the show, but we have a very good team. But I agree, we should make a move. Let's make a move. I think we made a move other than the drafting this past draft. We got to make some kind of a decent trade in our favor.
Thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, Mitch. Yeah, I mean, they went out and they get Kessler, so they've done a couple different things, but it just hasn't seemed to be enough. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, Draymond Green has returned, and he's doing it in a big way because, of course, he is. More Kings talk, of course. Emil Fergoso at 11. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown. CMC.
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from and the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings. Just wing it. Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2023 slip away without savoring the memories of all you enjoyed with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Of course, looking forward with anticipation is exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, and much of that revolves around time with family and more good time spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson get messy with his birthday cake is priceless, and it reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's New Year sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It here and talk about a guy who I've called probably the most polarizing player in the league. And late last week, it was reported that Draymond Green was cleared to rejoin the team and work towards a return. I don't believe that they have an exact date yet.
I don't think so.
He's got to get his body right. He wasn't with the team. So we thought, now Draymond Green comes out today with a full media rollout.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Number one, the Draymond Green podcast has returned.
Oh, yeah.
Number two, he also announced that they are re-signing, or he is re-signing with Volume, which is owned by Colin Cowherd. He is re-signing with them to continue that contract and his podcast.
Why did the podcast go away? I'm sorry.
Maybe it was just, I don't
have
know.
It signed, I believe.
Yeah, maybe they were just waiting for the contract to be signed. Or
it just stopped at the end of last season.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
I think they did one in the summer. One random one. I remember one in June.
Oh, yeah. He probably did when he re-signed.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I'd
right.
imagine he did one when he re-signed, and that was probably the last one. But yeah, we haven't gotten one yet this year.
Yeah. So until today, and he said a lot. Okay. He talks about crying with Steve Kerr, who visited him. He talks about spending 2 days straight in his man cave and, just thinking, just contemplating. And we have the audio here. He also talked about leaving the game entirely.
I had a conversation with Adam Silver, commissioner of our league. I just told him, Adam, it's too much for me. Like, this is too much. It's all becoming too much for me. And I'm going to retire. And Adam said, you're making a very rash decision. and I won't let you do that. We had a long, great conversation, very helpful to me, very thankful to play in a league with a commissioner like Adam, who's more about helping you than hurting you, or helping you than punishing you, or, he's more about the players.
So we have a tweet from Draymond Green 3 minutes ago.
Really? Oh, hot off the press.
Where he quote tweets a screenshot of himself with a microphone in one side of the shot and slapping Nurkic or punch slap in the other slide, and says, "I was wrong." And Draymond has quote tweeted it and added text to say, "Understand, period. Accept the shortcomings and do the work to move forward." That was 3 minutes ago from Draymond Green. Now, Chris.
Yes. I don't like your tone.
No. Chris, resident Warrior hater.
No.
May I say?
Yes.
Chris comes to me this morning.
Yeah.
He goes, "Alan, I listened on the way in."
Whole thing.
And Chris left me speechless. Chris, what was your takeaway from this whole thing with Draymond Green?
I really, really liked what Draymond had to say. Like, to me, he really sounded like a guy who had thought about it and really understood what was wrong with his ways. And I mean, I could literally hear his therapy coming out in his speech. Like, you could hear him almost like you can almost hear his therapist talking to him,
right,
or him answering questions from his therapist as he's talking. Like, he talks about accepting blame and, acknowledging things that he had done in the past, like always acknowledging how every time he had apologized in the past, there was always a but, and how he was like, I didn't even realize that my wife and Steve Kerr both told me the same thing, that every time I apologize, I always have but here's a reason for why I was doing that. And he said he never realized it. And it just really, to me, felt like he actually took the time away to reflect. And maybe it's just because this is also a bit coming off the heels of John Morant. Like, that was the last indefinite suspension that we had. And just to see how Ja has spoken about his suspension and dealing with trying to come to the other side of the suspension, or the reason why he got suspended, versus Draymond. To me, there's no difference at all. There's a huge difference between the two. Draymond actually sounds like somebody who has gone through the proper channels of trying to get better. And to me, Ja just sounded like, I did my time. Here's me on the other side. I'm not changing. I think Ja literally said, I'm still going to do me at all times. And, Draymond even said, I'm not going to stop getting into it on the court, but I'm going to stop with the antics. And he knows that there's a difference between antics and playing with fire. And of course, his actions are going to be the thing that speaks louder than his words. Draymond's a great talker. I told you that. There's a possibility I've just been finessed by Draymond's gift of gab.
We'll see.
But I believed him. Like, I really think he sounded like somebody who had repented and had truly thought about what he had done and how it had affected people. And he even apologizes to Steph. He's like, I heard Stephen A talk about how, this is showing Steph's bad leadership because he didn't check his boy. And he said, like, that crushed him. That was really the thing that really hurt him. And so to me, I don't know, there's just a sense of real acknowledgement and real, at least, and we talk about acknowledgement being the first step all the time. It really feels like he's trying to legitimately be better. And the thing he even said too is, all of his antics have been on the floor. Like, when you talk about Draymond Green wilding out, it's never been Draymond's at a club throwing punches, or Draymond's in a pickup basketball game punching people, or anything like that. It's solely been on the basketball floor, and he seems to understand that it's that area of his life that he needs to clean up. He's a good guy by all intents and purposes, great family man. It's just, when he's on the basketball floor, something else happens, and he's trying to get better at it. I don't know. I would suggest everyone at least give him 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's one of those things where there's so many different clips that come out. You feel like, do I really need to listen to this? It feels like half the episode is on social media already, which is on purpose. I know he had there was something, he went to a Michigan State game, and there was some incident there, but it wasn't anything big enough to where, we would put it in that category. Here's the thing I will say. I won't compare Ja and Draymond Green simply because of the age difference. I mean,
Sure,
Draymond is 33.
sure. Absolutely.
And if you look at it, look how
That's
many
fair.
different instances and situations happened to Draymond
Between
before he
them.
got here.
Right.
Before he got here.
Super
and,
fair.
And Ja, I guess this is number
Right.
2-ish.
Yeah, and he's
right.
24, 23.
Exactly. So
Draymond's 34, 35.
but it is good that you can see that difference. Ultimately, the whole thing with Draymond, and look, I didn't love personally the rollout of all this. We can go back and forth on it, but okay, you release the pod, and it's always going to help Draymond. But if what he's saying is legit, then I guess I'm all for it. We'll see when he actually plays. So, like, I'm not mad at anybody for getting their money and chasing the bag.
Yeah.
But he did the same thing at the TNT
Sure.
special with the punch.
Yes,
to where
very
he's
true.
sitting there. And on this one, I thought about retirement. So maybe I don't have enough context. I will go ahead and finish listening to the whole thing. But yeah, obviously we don't want anybody's safety in trouble on the court, right? And we don't want anybody to throw away what's left of their Hall of Fame career in Draymond Green to go down the toilet because you can't figure out how to harness your emotions. So I hear you on that. Let's get to a break. When we get back, we have Emil Fergoso, Sactown Sports 49ers Insider at 11. And then after that, we're talking some Niners at 11:30. Yes, we will break down Podium Gate. We will break down Press Conference Gate. That's at 11:30. All your answers to why it was Keon Ellis at the podium, we will answer for you. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The new year is a great time for reflection, to appreciate all the good things in your life and to prepare your resolutions, or bucket list as I like to call it. 2024 would be the perfect time to introduce someone new to the game of golf. Let them in on the fun. Or if you've never played, it's a wonderful time to start. Maybe go to a driving range, maybe take an introductory lesson. Or if you're an established golfer, maybe you want to get fitted for a new set of golf clubs. Maybe you want to take some refresher lessons to sharpen up your game. Consider a golf getaway, either with your significant other or a group of buddies. It's a great way to play new courses, eat some tasty new foods, and certainly laugh a lot with your friends. If you normally use a golf cart, consider walking with a push cart, or maybe even lightening your bag and carrying your clubs. Go back and play where you played your first round of golf or your all-time favorite round. Remember why you play the game and how much it means to you. Leave the course in better condition than you found it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
You own a truck because you want to get the job done right. TruckSmart is your work truck headquarters. For over 35 years, they've been outfitting trucks for leading construction firms, service providers, and municipalities in the region. Truck racks, toolboxes, lighting, commercial shells, rhino lining, they've got it all. And their expert installers will get it done right the first time. So visit the truck experts at TruckSmart today, with locations in Rockland and Auburn. They'll make your truck your favorite tool. TruckSmart.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland, and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
I'm Craig Ashton of the Injury Law Firm of Ashton & Price.
Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
It's time to buck up Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore.
Great selection, great factory financing and incentive.
And great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock.
Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Gibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We are taking a brief respite from the Kings to talk Niners with our own Emil Fregoso, Sactown Sports 49ers insider, and get the vibes right, even though the Niners caught an L last night. And real quick, just for the Brock Purdy haters out there, Emil, as you're watching, as you're watching Sam Darnold, what were your thoughts? Now, you didn't play with a lot of the guys, that came out after the first quarter, first half, whatever it was. But what did you see? I guess a better way to ask this isn't about if Brock Purdy goes down, are the Niners going to – I just want to know, would you assume that Sam Darnold will be on a different team next season?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's playing for another contract.
Mm-hmm.
The Niners signed him this really heavily incentivized contract this year in case Brock Purdy or whoever the starter was got hurt. Because if Sam Darnold had played 25% of the snaps yesterday and the Niners won, he would make $300,000. Each game he plays, that's in the contract.
Right.
It was a base salary of about $4 million, and he can make upwards of $10 million off of incentives of playing.
So he literally fumbled away $300K yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Literally.
He had all the incentive in the world to play for that game. He had all the incentive because he was going to make $300K bonus going into the playoffs. And unfortunately, Sam Darnold had a great first half, 169 passing in the first half, and the Niners had, I believe, 10 net yards in the second half.
Well, let's not put it all on Sam Darnold because he probably also would have got that $300K if Jake Moody didn't forget how to kick. Are you worried about Jake Moody? And, we talk so much about second-year quarterback taking on taking over for a Super Bowl ready roster. But, to have a rookie kicker in a spot where luckily this is what's crazy. They are so lucky they got home field advantage. Even though he missed at home, yesterday, at least it's his home field because can you imagine if they had to go and the Super Bowl, they always do a warm place. It's in Vegas. Can you imagine if they had to go on the road to some of these? Thankfully, the Packers, they don't got to go to Green Bay or anything like that. That is quite the gamble from this team, and it was a big deal to start the season, right? Then it went away because he got hot, and then what was it? He missed in Cleveland, and then after that he got hot again.
Missed in Minnesota and hasn't missed since, and then Week 18 happened.
Are you worried about Jake Moody as the kicker? And would you be trying out new kickers? What would be your thought process if you were Kyle Shanahan?
I think at this point in the season, you got to let it ride. You kind of can't mess with that mojo. He's been really good since the bye week for the Niners. Hasn't missed a field goal, hasn't missed a PAT, hasn't missed anything inside of 40 yards except for the 38-yarder he tried yesterday, and then missed his first PAT of his NFL career as well. Missed it both right as well.
Yeah.
Wide right.
The first one he doinked. The second one didn't even doink.
No, he just missed it right. Which is funny because in warmups, and I was on the far side of the field, on the opposite side of the field, actually, where did he miss? Right. So it was a recurring thing yesterday of him missing right. And it can just come up to just a bad day at the office, a rough day, which is what the Niners are kind of saying it is. It's worrisome because it could come down to a kick in the playoffs. But I also think that his big game experience in college is going to help him hopefully power through it. And I like the mentality that he keeps very even keeled, similar to Brock Purdy, up and down kind of day, just kind of stays the same.
Yeah.
It's just a scary proposition, though. Like, you have this juggernaut of a team. You're spending all of this money on all of these skill position players. You know, you get this huge advantage with Brock Purdy not getting paid anything, being Mr. Irrelevant. And you put it all on the line for a rookie kicker who, I mean, you said it. Like, there could be a moment where Jake Moody has to make this kick for the Niners to go to the next round, and the entire season could come down to some rookie kicker.
It really could. And what's funny is that I put a poll out there on X and asked, would you rather sign Robbie Gould for the playoffs or ride with Jake Moody? And surprisingly, 57% of the fans said ride with Jake Moody.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I would not have guessed that.
I know.
People have been clamoring for Robbie Gould all year.
It wasn't a high number of votes. I'll give you that.
Sure.
No one was really paying attention to that game. But people just sign and say, no, we're going to ride with Jake Moody the rest of the way. Is like, okay. So there's a little more confidence than I expected in this guy.
That's bold. I don't know about that. I think at this point, like you said, like you've kind of made your bed. I think you have to ride Jake Moody at this point in the season. It'd be tough to just say, well, thanks for getting us through the regular season. We're going to have somebody, just a new kicker, walk in here and kick week one. But that'd be tough. Did you like anybody on Sunday? I mean, you know, we did see a lot of backups. Was there anybody that stood out, or you feel like, you know, I know that secondary's been a little bit of patchwork. Was there anybody that showed out on Sunday that you feel, you know, makes you feel better going into the playoffs?
It's a great way you asked that question, Chris.
Did you like anybody?
Did you like anybody yesterday in that preseason game? I mean, you know,
glorified
preseason game. Yeah. I liked what safety Taylor Hawkins did. Their second-year guy, been on the practice squad all year, got his first pick of the game. And then additionally, I like what Robert Beal did. Their defensive end rookie out of Georgia. He got his first sack of his NFL career. So if they can have these two young guys not play major snaps, but be able to fill in and be at least serviceable, is going to be a blessing for them, especially with Robert Beal with the Cleveland Farrell injury happening as well.
Right.
Talking to Emil Fergoso, Sactown Sports 49ers insider. Emil was watching ESPN Scott Van Pelt show last night, and Bill Barnwell, who he has on, had the Cowboys coming out of the NFC, which I thought was interesting.
That's cute.
As I look at the bracket, and you got to pick someone, you can't just say there's no one, even if you don't think there's a good chance. But who is the biggest threat to the Niners in the NFC?
There's really only two teams that you kind of trust in the NFC right now, and it's the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. Those are the two best teams in the NFC besides the Niners right now.
Yeah.
You got to ride with the hot hand. The Philadelphia Eagles, I don't know what happened to them. Tampa Bay Buccaneers aren't trying to win games, apparently.
Right.
And then the Detroit Lions do kind of Detroit Lions things.
And, well, so I guess the bottom line is that as of right now, based on how things ended, the Rams are going to have to go. Are they going to have to eventually take on the Cowboys or the Lions?
Here's how this works. If the Cowboys take care of business against the Packers, which they probably should, the 2-7, the Rams, this number 60, because they won against the Bay Area, or the Niners yesterday, I should say, they have to go to Detroit and beat Detroit, the Lions in Detroit, which is very, very possible. If they do that, guess who's coming back to Santa Clara on the divisional round? The Rams. Back to Santa Clara. Which is very much what I think is about to happen here, because I do think that the Rams are going to beat the Lions on the road. Matthew Stafford going back to Detroit, his homecoming, Jared Goff playing his old team. Who's the better quarterback out of the two, in my opinion? I think it's Matthew Stafford. I think I trust him more to deliver in the postseason more than cinder block Jared Goff.
Yeah. Let me tell you, too, Nick Mullins just carved up the Lions defense.
They have an awful defense.
I think that's a cry for help right there.
Not great.
Because I'm looking here, so, Red, I know a bunch of get moved on, but the bottom line is that, okay, so if they have to go to Detroit, I'm just trying to figure out if the Niners will have to take on Philly before then?
Like before the NFC Championship game?
Yeah.
So if the Lions beat the Rams, then it comes down to the 4-5. Whoever wins the 4-5, the Niners have to play in the divisional round. So they could see Philadelphia or Tampa Bay in the divisional round.
Gotcha.
I just think it's going to be the Rams that beat out, and that'll be the lowest seed. And the Niners play the lowest seed.
I'm looking at it right now, so there you go. So they would get the Rams, and then whoever wins Tampa Eagles would play the winner of Cowboys Packers.
Correct.
So then it would be Niners, maybe Niners Cowboys is what we're looking at
for the NFC Championship game. Yeah, very, very much so. They're probably the two best teams in the conference, and that's kind of how it's been all year, of just up and down. They have the most talent, most to match physically on both sides of the football. It just comes down to, do you trust the Cowboys in the postseason, which I don't.
Well, Emil, this will be your last time to give your prediction before the playoffs actually start.
Okay.
So go ahead and do it when this last minute we have. Emil Fregoso, Sactown Sports 49ers Insider. Will there be a parade in San Francisco and or Santa Clara? Will they is the quest for 6 coming to an end?
This is tough. This is hard. It will not. It will not come to an end. They will not win Super Bowl this year.
What? You got the Ravens?
I have the Ravens. Yeah.
They got to beat them twice.
Oh, Emil.
I know.
I respect it, though.
Unbiased journalist.
Yeah, I respect it.
I feel like he's doing the opposite.
There's a reason we didn't ask you, Nate. Look, there's a reason we didn't ask you, Nate.
Two teams the Niners do not want to see in the Super Bowl: the Ravens or the Cleveland Browns. They don't want to see either team. Every other AFC team they don't care about. They can beat. But those two are the two teams that give them. The Niners are 1-3 this year against AFC North. There's a reason for that. They are more physical. Even if they don't have the talent, they're more physical, and they churn out those gritty, grimy games, the 20-17 games.
Slow down the Niners offense.
Exactly.
And make them make plays.
And they struggle with mobile
Force them
quarterbacks,
to
which
make
is Lamar
plays.
Jackson's whole
You
thing.
could make the argument. I know you got to get out of here, but you can make the argument now, looking at the AFC. The Ravens might have a tougher road than the Niners, though.
Sure. I think the AFC's a mess.
I think that's a fact. I think they will pretty much no matter what.
You know what I mean? Because
okay,
we know
just because they have a harder road,
Yeah,
I mean, that doesn't mean they
can't
won't
do
make
it.
it.
Yeah.
And if they make it through that harder road, doesn't that tell you that they're probably a team that's better built for some adversity, or probably a team that's built to last through some
They're
things?
more healthy. They're more complete than any other AFC team. They really
more
are.
healthy.
They're not more healthy.
The Ravens are. Yes.
They're not more healthy than the Chiefs. The Chiefs just have a bad roster.
I guess they're just a bad team. That's what we're gonna do. Okay.
I mean, the Bills too. I think are more. They've lost Milano.
They haven't had Milano or Tre'Davious White the whole year.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Okay, so Emil Fregoso, we have it on tape here.
You have it
He
on
has
tape.
The Ravens.
I begrudgingly said that, but I didn't
have to.
I have to see
He
it.
said the Niners would be 10-7 this year too.
I did.
You didn't have to. All right. Thank you so much, Emil. As always, be sure to catch all of Emil's work at SactownSports.com and follow him on social media. Great follow. A lot of good information. Thank you to Emil Fregoso, Sactown Sports 49ers Insider. When we get back, continuing to break down the Kings and Niners. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
It looks like your luggage is over 50 pounds. Is there anything you can take out?
Oh, yeah. Let me just toss all these $20 bills.
Great. Let me grab you a trash can.
Stop. Instead of throwing money away, move some clothes into a carry-on. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Yeah, we're replacing the carpets too, so don't worry about that.
No fresh powder yet, but Dan's Ski Lodge has an avalanche of projects.
Those 4 rooms are getting hot tubs.
He needs a staff engineer to navigate a flurry of new requests.
And all of those will be fully ADA accessible.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown.
Sactown Sports 49ers Insider. He's got the Ravens. Man, oh man, if Lamar Jackson gets a ring, the conversations are going to change. Because I've always thought this, man, whether it's Cam Newton, whether it's Jalen Hurts, right? These, I don't even know if I would consider Jalen Hurts run first, but these more running quarterbacks, right? It's one thing to get to the Super Bowl, but to win it, that has been, I guess, the white whale that a lot of these old school football talking heads have always said. Hey, you can have some good, and I can put Josh Allen in that category too. I just don't think Josh Allen's going to get there. But hey, these boys got to be Lamar, right? Hey, but they are hot.
Yeah,
they are hot.
They look great.
Hey, these running quarterbacks that are just quick to leave the pocket, right? You can't win it with them. You can get there, but you can't win it with them. Okay, so I would just love to see it because I think it would change the complexity. And it doesn't really change too much because then you would have one versus all the other quarterbacks, right? But I think getting that one would be great for the game, and it would remove the – and look, all underdog stories aren't created equal, okay? Everything is relative. Lamar, for everything he did in college, we talk so much about Brock Purdy's, the chip on his shoulder, right? Which is fair. He went last, okay? Right. But relatively speaking, Lamar was a bit disrespected in how low he went compared to what he did in college, pick. Right? Yeah. So let's not act like Lamar doesn't have a chip on his shoulder as well. And I think, I think it's going to be a great playoff run. Very confusing playoff teams to where the AFC seemed very weak, but now when I look at it, you got a red hot Bills team. You have, I'm not really putting the Dolphins in that category, but you have the Chiefs. Who you never
Dolphins,
know.
Chiefs. We're going to talk about it later this week, where I'm sure we're going to give our picks, but don't sleep on the Dolphins now.
I'm not sleeping on the Dolphins, but
I'm hibernating on the Chiefs. So
that's
something's got to give in that game.
Something has to give, and this is the best shot for the Dolphins.
Peacock, okay.
Well, yeah. Let me know how it is because I won't be catching it. I guess I got to go out and watch
Stream
it somewhere.
East is going to go crazy that day.
I saw going to do Wilt Chamberlain numbers. You also have how about this though? Better story, okay? The Niners with Mystery Relevant or the return of Joe Flacco? What if Joe Flacco wins the whole thing?
Return of Joe Flacco, for sure.
It have to be.
This is by far the most unlikely story.
And Njoku burns his face, right? Deshaun is done. Joe Flacco is what, number 3?
Right.
Number 4, maybe?
Quarterback number 4 on the year, PJ Walker and Dorian Thompson. Yeah. QB number 4. You think the Niners had issues? Okay. At QB, sheesh.
I'm not sleeping. I think that dark horse team is going to be the Bills, but it is just such a roller coaster with Josh Allen that
I think the Bills have a pretty easy. I'm not sure exactly how the AFC restructures itself after the wild card, but if they can go, they play the Steelers the first round. That's, in my opinion, by far the easiest opponent. That should be a win. You're going to play whoever wins the Fraud Bowl of, I think is how it would work. They would play whoever wins the Fraud Bowl of Miami versus Cleveland, or you're getting Cleveland versus Texans. I feel
whoever is the second lowest seed.
Okay,
so if the Chiefs win and the Texans win, Chiefs would the Bills would have to go to Buffalo.
That would
you see what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah.
And honestly,
to me, the Ravens are the only team that would put fear in me if I'm the Bills.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. And if I'm the Ravens, I'm probably rooting for the Texans.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the Browns and
tough.
that defense.
That's super tough. I don't know. Yeah, I probably right. Just because the Browns, at least they have that AFC North familiarity. They've already played twice, and the Texans.
You're saying they would rather?
I think you would rather play the Texans if you're.
No,
you're
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
agreeing with you because they're a first year team. CJ Stroud first year. You got DeMeco Ryans in his first year. I wouldn't want any of that Cleveland smoke either. It just feels like there's a lot of. I wouldn't say team of destiny, but
it's weird.
There's a lot of magic going on over there.
I don't want to see
storylines in motion.
And this brings up the question, funny enough, if you're the 1 seed, I don't think we did it on this show, but should you have the ability to just choose your opponent?
I think so.
Like
it even adds a layer.
You know what I mean?
To the drama.
So let's say the Chiefs win, but then here's the thing. Let's say Chiefs win and Cleveland wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ravens would get Cleveland. You're not going to pick. Do you pick the Chiefs over the Browns? Let's say in this world you can pick. Would you pick the Chiefs over the Browns? You can't
if you're
do
the
that.
Ravens,
you can't invite Patrick Mahomes to your
Well, that's
city.
what makes it must-watch television. That's why they should do it. Because I would love to see. I don't know who would. What is it? Jim or John Harbaugh? Would Harbaugh make the call? Is it the ownership? Who is it? Is it Lamar Jackson? Is he the one? I don't know. I think I'd probably go the Chiefs. I mean, I know Patrick Mahomes is scary, but no one else really scares me on that Chiefs team.
Yeah.
Like, Travis Kelce is not the Travis Kelce of old. Their defense is better than it's been before, but it's not the Browns. And yeah, I mean, we've seen enough times if Patrick Mahomes has to get a big play, who's he going to? Mm-hmm. We've seen Marquez Valdez-Scantling drop every single
Kadarius
big
Toney.
play. Kadarius Toney's dropped every single ball that came his way. Rasheed Rice, I guess, is their best option.
Yeah.
But that tells you a lot about the state of the Chiefs, is they're relying on a first-year receiver who really hasn't – I mean, he's had a good season, good second half of the season, but hasn't done anything in the playoffs. Like, okay, so if that's your answer, if Rasheed Rice is going to be the guy that kills you, I'm willing to take that bet.
And I'm telling you what, a lot of people are saying let Ayuk walk. Can you imagine? You know where I'm going with this.
No.
You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
You let Ayuk walk and he ends up in Kansas City.
Oh, boy.
I wouldn't. I don't know what you can do, right? The capologists that are out there.
Compensatory picks or something.
Right? But you cannot let. I know it's the AFC. It's not the same division or whatever it is. But, I mean, here's the bottom line. The Chiefs are going to get somebody at the end of the season.
Yeah.
You just don't want it to be on your watch.
Right.
Okay. So I think that'll be interesting. But hopefully, even if they do, it will be after the Niners get number 6. Much to Emil's chagrin. I'm just kidding with you, Emil. Emil Fergoso, our Sactown Sports 49ers Insider, had the Ravens going all the way. Got to get to a break. And as promised, we're doing it now. We are talking about Podium Gate. We are talking about Press Conference Gate. We have audio of the question that was asked to Coach Mike Brown. And again, this is the only reason us in the media were making a big deal about this. I know some fans agree with it. Some fans don't care. There's still locker room talk as well. This is the second time they got blown out to the Celtics. And who did they send out? Keon Ellis. They get blown out last night to the Pelicans. And who do they send out? Keon Ellis. Is there blame to go around? Are we overreacting? Be a part of the conversation. 916-339-1140. We will give you the facts and the information to have this conversation. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Don't miss out on New Year's savings at Folsom Lake Kia. Low prices and payments on your favorite new Kia models. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 25 years or FolsomLakeKia.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85 or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Buy the latest gear, meet the experts, learn about fishing, hunting, boating, and off-roading. See Toyota's all-new Tacoma. This is the place to discover your next adventure, nearby or around the world. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. The time has come to have the conversation about the post-game presser. all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. So let's just lay everything out quickly. We did it before the break. We'll do it right here. Basically, the game ends. Media goes into the press conference room, and somebody pops out, right, to answer questions from the media. Sometimes it's two, whatever the case is. So we don't know who's going to show up.
Can I also throw in here, too, that right before you guys headed down to the locker room, me and Brendan were joking. Like, it's kind of a thing that's known, at least, that's been happening with the Kings, not only this season, but like in years past too, even Luke Walton era, Dave Yeager era. We thought, I think me and Brendan said, hey, I bet you we get Sasha and Kevin down there. Just to say, like, this is kind of a thing that this isn't the first time.
And this was
Kevin would have
worse.
made more sense.
Yeah, Kevin would have made
more sense.
Exactly worse.
Yeah. Do you think there should be context in this for I believe there's one point Mike Brown points out one of the
we'll give it out.
Yeah, we'll give it out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so without further ado, this is the question asked by James Ham to Coach Mike Brown about the decision to send out Keon Ellis.
Mike, you're here to take the bullet here for your team, but at some point, I mean, this is multiple games where your leadership council is nowhere to be seen at the podium. And I'm just wondering if that's part of this too. Like, 10 losses this season are blowouts. You guys are sure your record's great, but there seems to be a lack of accountability in these types of games where we're not even getting to see some of these guys that don't show up in the box score, that don't show up on paper.
Yeah, I don't, James, and I hope this doesn't feel like a cop-out. I don't know. I never have known who comes to the podium and who doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that would be more Shannon would have to answer. Not one time in my career did I ever follow that or track that, you know. But everybody should face the music because, you know, we're all a part of this. And we all have to speak on it. We all have to address it. And we all have to look at Nye and see if we can be better. And it does. It starts with Fox and Domas. You know, at the end of the day, those two guys, they have to be accountable. They have to hold everybody else accountable, just like for me. I mean, I do too. I mean, I'm part of this ass kicking today. And it is what it is. And we got to keep trying to find ways to be better. But, you know, the only way to do it, it's not an X and O thing. You know, I mean, when you get beat like that, that has nothing to do with X's and O. We can go out with no game plan, and you can take any 10 guys and play harder and fight better than what we did today, and that's what's disappointing. You know, like I said, from top to bottom, starting with me on down. So, in terms of who comes to the podium or not, I'm not trying to bail out on that one, but I've never known who was supposed to come here.
So there it is.
Where do we start?
Yeah, there it is. That was the question that was asked, and then you just heard Coach Mike Brown's answer. Shannon runs the PR for the Kings, and that's who he had mentioned in the response, whether she picks somebody, whatever it is. My thought process when I heard that is that I don't necessarily care about what the process actually is. The fact that this is the second time that it's happened, the first time was with the Celtics, the second time has been right here with the Pelicans, a team who, we get it, nobody wants to go up there because you got blown out, and I don't even know if they've had one competitive game against the Pelicans. So I understand why you don't want to do it, but that's also my problem. You know what I mean? So it's not a PR thing for me who got chosen, who this, who that. If you have somebody or a couple guys, whether that's, look, we're saying Fox and Domas. What about Harrison Barnes, right? What about Harrison Barnes, a guy who, the vet in the league, let's be honest, there have been trade conversations. All right, fine. I'll just go out there and I'll do it. When you talk about the leadership council and the leadership committee, it's a cop-out. Yeah. It's a cop-out for those guys. And I know Domas answered questions at his locker, but that's on his time. That's not necessarily – it's a more controlled environment. I didn't even see De'Aaron Fox answer anything. And I'm be honest, we're not too far removed from the loss against the Hornets where De'Aaron says, I just flush it. I don't even remember by the time I get out the building.
Right.
It's bad. It's bad. Now, at least he was up there on that one, but to now have these clips that just don't sound great. And yeah, I'm going to go there. There was another team in Northern California that got their doors blown out last night. And you know who I saw up there for the Warriors? I saw Moses Moody, but I also saw Steph Curry, and I also saw Klay Thompson. And I don't know how their PR works, but again, I don't care. There's just a lack of responsibility and a lack of leadership. And I know that there are certain fans out there that think the media is making it a big deal. We're making this about us. No, because we've sat in those meetings or in those press conferences where Coach Mike Brown has said, we need more leadership.
Yes.
He's leaving it open.
Yes.
And nobody is stepping up. I mean, Keon Ellis. Happy birthday, Keon Ellis. Go up there and talk to the media. I would even put Malik Monk in that category because Coach Brown has said that he's stepped up to some degree. So that's my issue with it. I don't care about how things typically work. The bottom line is there should have been somebody, in my opinion, to say, Keon, no, bro. You haven't even been in the rotation.
Right.
Let me go up there and I'll handle this. You fall back. You think the PR person is going to say no? No, they're not going to say no. Okay, cool. It's awkward. We don't have to do any of this. Cool. Let's just get out of here. And it bothers me.
No, for sure. It bothers me too. I mean, to me, like you said, I don't really even care about how the process is. It's inexcusable that Keon Ellis is the one that goes up in that moment in time because that's just not fair to your teammate. Like that's being a bad teammate to throw Keon out in that situation. Like everybody knows that Keon's not the one that we all want to hear from there. Bless Keon, but like it's not his fault that the team was in that situation.
He can't answer those questions.
There's no insight. He wasn't there when the game was being decided, frankly. Like he can tell you what he saw, but you know, there's a different level of insight from guys who are out there at that time. And to me, it felt a little bit like, you know, like when you're with your group of friends at school and you guys do something that gets you in trouble as a group and you know, everyone's like, who did this? And no one wants to fess up. And then the nice kid who everyone knows, like if Johnny says he does it, like he's got a good reputation, so no one's going to get mad at him. So we'll just have him take the fall. And it's not fair because Keon Ellis doesn't get it to go out there when the Kings have their biggest win of the season.
Nobody's checking for Keon.
But you're going to send him out when it's the worst loss of the season and nobody feels like talking. Well, that's just not fair. That's not being a good teammate. It's not being accountable. And to me, the biggest thing, forget all the PR and the media and whose decision is it to do this. It should be on the players to say when they see, because somebody had to have seen Keon being the one picked, whether it is Harrison Barnes, whether it's Sabonis, whether it's De'Aaron Fox. Heck, I don't even care if it's Kevin Huerter. Like I said, I would have understood at least from how these things go. I get why they send Kevin Huerter out there. But to send Keon out there, to me, that's just being a bad friend. It's being a bad teammate, being a bad colleague, whatever. To see him walking out there and do the walk of shame, someone should have stepped up and said, guys, we cannot send Keon out. Like this will
not
be
again.
a terrible look for us to just not face the music. And I mean, to me, it totally speaks on the Mike Brown asking for leadership thing. And that's even how James framed the question. It was a perfect framing of the question because he's not really attacking anybody there. He's just saying, you talk a lot about this leadership group that you don't want to tell them what to do. You want them to step out and say, I know what's right when it comes to the on the floor stuff. Well, to James's question, doesn't it kind of start here? Doesn't it start with facing the music or being when things aren't easy, going out there and facing the music? Because it's easy to do it when you have a career high or when you set a record or when you've won 4 games in a row. But it's tough when you're on a bad stretch of games where you've lost to the Hornets and the Trailblazers and you got to go to double OT against the Magic. And now you have this huge loss to the Pelicans again. Somebody's got to take the responsibility and say, look, like this is on us. We need to go. We need somebody in this locker room needs to step up and speak for us, because it just can't be Keon.
No,
he doesn't, because frankly, Keon doesn't speak for them. He hasn't been back and forth.
He can't answer the questions.
League, but he's not in the circles.
And that's part of it, right? Because Keon isn't in the rotation every night. The media can't ask the questions that they really want to, and they do anyway, knowing that Keon can't really answer this because, hey, Keon, these last couple games, blah, blah. What does Keon know? He's not even in the rotation. So how is he going to answer this? And here's my other problem with this is because you got blown out so bad. Number one, we know how this process works. So nobody was going to be surprised that someone was going to have to speak after the game. You had over a quarter, because I don't even know if they played the end of the third, to think about this and say, you know what?
Right.
But, Fox, is it going to be you? Yeah. Malik, is it going to be you? Sabonis is going to be you. They had time.
Yeah.
And they collectively, as a group, just played, not dumb, but just said, we're just going to go by how the normal process goes, and we'll see who gets picked. No, that's not enough. That's not good enough. So, again, the MVP talks, you're grounded.
Yep.
Okay? Championship talks, you're grounded. We haven't even done Beaming or Dreaming in about 3 weeks because there's no point.
Yeah.
There's no point because, to your point, Chris, you said that great. You should want to go up there.
Yes.
Somebody should want to go up there.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody should want to answer those questions and say, you know what? It's not good enough.
No.
And I don't care if you're not a vocal leader. I don't care if you're not this. Steph Curry is supposedly not a vocal leader.
Yeah.
He's up there every time. That team is 10th in the West. They're not even above 500. And Steph is up there answering the same questions. Klay Thompson up there answering the same questions.
Yeah.
And you got Keon Ellis?
Yeah.
They had 3 guys, the Warriors did, answer questions last night.
Yep.
The Kings had 1.
We didn't even mention that part either.
The Kings had
sent one person. It's also that. You send one person, and your one person is Keon. Maybe this is a slightly different conversation if it's Keon and Kevin Huerter.
Maybe, yes.
And Sasha even gets into some shaky
Kevin had
territory.
a good game.
Kevin had a good game. He's been in the starting rotation. Frankly, he's kind of been ducked because he's been struggling. He finally gets to the other side of it. Would have been a perfect opportunity to throw him out there. There's a lot of missteps in how this could have gone better, but to me, it's just it's not great. It's not great, and I think maybe even to your Warriors point, I think about the Warriors, they do have the benefit of having 3 stars that can kind of spread out the hits, I guess, if you will, where after a loss like last night, the Warriors could have sent out Draymond Green, or they could have sent out Klay, or they could have sent out Steph, or in the past they even could have sent out Iguodala out there and gotten good answers. Maybe the Kings need to figure out
Barnes
to your point, that leadership group sounds like it's 3 to 4 to 5 people. Why don't you spread it out? Why don't you say, hey, it's on one of us in here to go up there and speak. It's on at least Harrison, or at least on De'Aaron, or I don't know if you want to throw Keegan into those things already. Malik is somebody who gives great quotes. I know Malik's been up there a couple times already, but there's got to be somebody in that core 4 that they like to talk about, or in their leadership group that this is part of the game. This is part of being in the NBA, is asking tough questions or answering tough questions that you just don't feel up for.
Yeah.
You don't have to. And here's another thing either. You don't have to be nice. LeBron James just showed that the other day at his locker. Just because you're not happy doesn't mean, you have to give insightful, thoughtful answers. You can go up there and completely sell it, and that sends its own message.
I saw that as well. I saw, because I put it on my social media that I wasn't happy about it, as a lot of people weren't happy about it, and I saw a lot of people coming back to me saying, well, what do you want them to say? What about who cares what they say? That's not the point.
Yeah.
It's the principle that nobody went up there. I don't care what they say. They can go up there and do athlete speak and say, we just didn't have it today.
We got Marshawn.
But be up there. But that's my point.
Yeah.
Why not just do that and just be on your way?
Totally.
And go to your mansion and just enjoy your life until the next game. You can't even do that. Got to get to a break. When we get back, continue the conversation. Steven, we see you on the line. We'll get to you as well. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-385-9302 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-385-9302. That's 800-385-9302. What do you have to lose? Call 800-385-9302. Again, 800-385-9302.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changers, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2023 slip away without savoring the memories of all you enjoyed with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Of course, looking forward with anticipation is exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, and much of that revolves around time with family and more good times spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson get messy with his birthday cake is priceless, and it reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's New Year sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. A lot of good conversation happening, not just with us, but also in the Sac chat. If you are driving right now on your way home or on your way to somewhere with a phone or computer, hop in and continue to listen on the Sac chat as well, where a good conversation is happening. Also on the text line, of course, text line from the 415. Shout out SF. Top of the morning, fellas. A long-time listener. Hope you had a great weekend. Just want to apologize to whoever attended that game last night. That was just embarrassing. I wasn't there, but I feel like everybody in that building that was there yesterday, including Stiles and Watkins, should get their money back for your case, get double pay for enduring something like that. At the end of the day, these are questions that should have been answered in the offseason. So if we're going to go ahead and start putting blame on anybody, it has to stop from the top, and that's Monty McNair.
Yeah, and I mean, to talk about more so other things Mike Brown talked about yesterday, and not just yesterday. I mean, it's been a couple different times now. Mike Brown kind of has. He kind of has been sending some messages to Monty McNair, whether it be even yesterday. I mean, we just played the sound. Even in his answer to James's question there, he says, tonight was not an X's and O's thing. No. It was an effort thing. And he said a version of that a couple different times where, the game plan was solid. We just didn't go out there and execute. He's talked about how teams with length are just a problem for them that they have to deal with. There's not really a good answer for them. It's just a thing that they have to work around. If you listen to the things Mike Brown said, he has kind of started to put the ball in Monty McNair's court, and it's on Monty. It is on Monty. That texter puts it perfectly. Like, Monty didn't do much in the offseason. I mean, he did a couple things. It was some, as is all free agent moves, he took some bets. He took some risks. He thought Sasha was going to be a bit more of an impact than he is. He thought JaVale McGee was probably going to have a little bit more in the tank than he does. He thought Chris Duarte was going to bring something really valuable to this rotation. None of those things have panned out, and none of those were big risks, but they were, small little wagers. He's got to that's what I was saying earlier. He's got to take a big risk. It's got to be at some point you say, this was last year's team. This is this year's team. It still feels like this team right now is last year's team 1.5.
Yes.
It's just a different, it's a remix. It's a remix of last year's team, but it's not a different team. We're not on a new album yet. This is still the same team we saw last year, except frankly, it's worse. The offense isn't as efficient, which is understandable because last year was ridiculous. The defense has since fallen to a level that is similar to last year. And they aren't getting as good of performances out of Kevin Huerter, who was huge for last year. And they haven't really, besides De'Aaron improving, and I would even say statistically, Keegan has probably been hit or miss. Like it's been more or less the same. This is a worse team than they were last year.
Yeah.
Top end.
Well, people would say, well, look at their record. And that would mean that they're not.
But their play.
Right.
Their play hasn't been as good.
I just don't think you can do. I know you are what your record says you are, but I just think it's too easy to do that when there's so many other factors, right? The teams you're playing aren't the same. You are what your record says you are, but you can't compare records, I think, equally and say this team is better because their record is better than where the team was last season. I think that you can't do that.
Yeah, what I will say to that, to your record is who you say you are. Before losing yesterday, the Kings were in a weird position where if they had beaten the Hornets and the Blazers, they would have been the 2 seed in the Western Conference.
Wow.
But they didn't, and so they weren't, and they were the 5 seed. To your point, you are who your record says you are. The Kings could have been a team that we talk about, and we've talked about it before. This is a good team. There's a shell of a good team in here. If they could have taken care of business and beaten those 2 teams, they definitely should have beaten like a good team would have. They would have been the 2 seed. But they didn't, because that's been baked into who this team is the inconsistency, the fact that you can lose to a Blazer and to a Hornets
team. That's why they're not there.
That's why they're not there, and that's why I agree with you completely. Your record is who you say you are. The Kings have been a good team. They haven't been an elite team, and that's why they're not finding themselves in that 2, in that 3 spot, in that 4 spot. It's why they're the 5 spot, because there's a ton of teams. You look at the Warriors, even the Warriors, they've had a nightmare season. They're around 500.
Yeah.
You know, it's you still win games. Just because it hasn't gone well doesn't mean you have to be 14-25.
Mm-hmm.
You could still have some productive moments, but at the end of the day, say, we're not where we should be. We're not where we want to be. And so far, the Kings have been a good team on a lot of nights. But as we said, half of their losses have been complete blowouts. And you know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like a 5, 6, 7 seed, which is around where the Kings are hovering.
That's where they are, and it will be another first-round exit. That's pretty much it. From the 916, this team is mentally weak, period. No real discussion needed. Thanks, 916. That's not really how a radio show works, but thank you for that. From the 916 as well, last year they were still finding a team rhythm with Domas, Malik, and Kevin. After a full season together, this year should be more consistent.
Absolutely.
It's not, as well as Keegan as well.
Yeah.
Let's get to the phone lines before we get to a break. Steven got about 30-ish seconds. Steven, what you got for us? Oh, actually, I forgot you were grounded, Steven, but we'll let you go anyway from last week. That's why you only get 30 seconds. What you got for us?
I was about to ask you if I'm still banned.
No, De'Aaron took your spot.
De'Aaron took your spot, so now you get 30 seconds. What you got for us?
Okay, well, all right, so we're talking about Keon and how this has been a thing of going to the podium.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, last year, you remember, okay, who was going up to the podium and we were having these conversations last year? Who was in the same position?
Probably Harrison
Keon
Barnes.
was Harrison Barnes.
Yeah.
Okay? Harrison Barnes was the guy because he is the quote unquote the vet.
Yep.
You know, he's supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to be the guy that has the voice, and he's supposed to know what to say and all that fun stuff. I do not recall, and I do not remember seeing Domas or seeing any of the other leaderships, even last year, stepping up to the podium and being like, "Hey, look, guys, we were trash. We played terribly. We did not communicate well. We didn't pass the ball well. Our vision we weren't present." So the level of accountability, I feel like, is starting to kind of show. I mean, it's not really kind of starting to show. If I could put the flip side on that, we're talking about all this leadership and how De'Aaron and Domas, those are our foundational pieces. Well, you know what, dude? You gotta be, if you're going to be a foundational piece for this team and for a team, you got to take the L's too, man. You got to go up there and you got to own it. You know what I mean? You got to be like, look, I'm the leader. This is my team. Everyone is getting these players and pieces around for me because you guys chose to keep me around. So I got to do better, and I got to hold myself responsible, hold myself accountable for my bad play, along with everybody else. That's what makes a good leader, is holding people accountable, including yourself. And I don't think we've really seen that. Coming from somebody who is supposed to be, follow me, boys. Let me show you how it's done. Lead by example, De'Aaron Fox. But it's not working. You want to lead by example, but there are times, man, where you got to open your mouth and you got to tell these cats, man, hey, look, this ain't how we're supposed to do this, man. I've been here for 8 years, and that's half this 16-year tenure. You know what I'm saying? So What are we doing, boys? All right. I'm going to get back on timeout, man. You guys have a good day.
Thanks, Steven.
Way to redeem yourself, Steven.
Yeah, look, and that's really what it is. And it doesn't really matter if the question is, oh, well, what would they have said? It's just about being there. It's just about being the person that is that shield and not throwing somebody to the wolves like Keon Ellis, who obviously cannot answer questions that we all want to know why these guys have been blown out 7 times. I don't even know if Keon was activated in all 7 of those blowouts. Yeah. That's the problem. We want answers, and I get it. You're not gonna get full-blown answers from the press conference, but at least you can say, okay, they're recognizing it. We don't know. The last time we talked when they lost to the Hornets, De'Aaron says he just flushes it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and they go out and they win against the Magic, but it's a double overtime game. So, and with no Franz Wagner, got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing the conversation, what's next for the Kings? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown!
CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Yep, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from TruckSmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since TruckSmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Truck Smart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Talking Kings, talking Niners, talking NFL playoffs. Yeah, 2 more hours to go. Shout out Nate. Haven't said shout out to Nate behind the glass today. Nate, doing a great job for us, Nate Littlefield, as always. You know, I know you wanted to say something, Chris, and we're going to get back to, I guess, not the X's and O's of the games, but start to look forward and the trades and all of that good stuff. But you had something to say just as far as the lines and the expectations for the Kings and how Sacramento, compared to other places, you could have it much tougher.
Yeah, I mean, Steven said in his call there, and it just made me think. He said, in this city, you have to, for this team in this town, you got to speak up. And I think there's something real about that, because Sacramento, like you said, it's not that big of a market, and it's arguably, I mean, the biggest. Or one of the biggest companies in town. And like, if a really big company in town has a nuclear explosion, I'd like, the CEO or somebody, I'm not saying Vivek needs to come up there and speak, but somebody who knows what's going on needs to speak for
a part of the explosion.
Someone who's responsible. It did make me think of, I don't know if you watch Succession, but spoiler alert, there's this one scene in there where someone's in charge of a rocket launch, and then the rocket launch explodes. And he's kind of puts the phone that he watched the rocket launch back in his pocket. And it's like, whew, I'm going to act like I didn't see that and just not take responsibility. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
They did very well at the Golden Globes last night.
They did great at the Golden Globes last night. But yeah, I think in Sacramento, you gotta, if you're De'Aaron Fox, like this town only cares about the Kings. It doesn't have to be De'Aaron, but if it's Domas, if it's HB, if it's Keegan, if it's Malik, somebody's got to speak up when you lose like that, because people in this town want answers. And yeah, to your point about Sacramento being a smaller market, if y'all think this is bad, like if you're ducking Sacramento media, I love everyone in our media. I love Frankie, Brendan, even James Ham over there. I love Jason Anderson. We got Tony over there. We got Sean Cunningham, Matt George. The list goes on and on and on. All great people. We're not asking 2020 Dateline questions here. We're not trying to solve murder mysteries or anything. I'm not saying we're a soft media, but we're not investigative journalists really trying to figure out what's going on. If you think this is bad here and you're ducking the smoke here, you better not end up in a market like LA, like New York, like Chicago, probably not Miami. They care about other things there, but there's Golden State. There's tons of other markets that will ask you a lot tougher questions and be a lot more upset about what's going on. So it's just, again, I mean, not that they should factor that into their decision, but it's just funny because, again, when Mike Brown talks about leadership, it could get this. Mike Brown's asking for the bare minimum is you to be a leader on this team that is floundering around the middle. There's not a lot of national media attention. Again, the local media is somewhat patient. I think the patience is starting to run out. It's about as easy as a situation as you're going to get right here. And if you can't handle this, Mike Brown's a dude who's been in Golden State. He's been in LA with Kobe. He's been in Cleveland with LeBron. He was in San Antonio with Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Tony Parker, Manu, Pop. He had to deal with all of that. So he's saying, if y'all can't deal with this, if no one wants to step up to the plate about this in this market, man, again, that's why I think he's been calling to Monty McNair a lot. He's like, dude, get me some people who I know can be held or will at least hold others accountable, because it's really speaking to that as well, is everyone's not holding the others accountable. And I think Mike Brown's saying, look at the personnel. I've been asking for this for months and nobody's stepping up. So if no one's stepping up, and this is yet another example of nobody stepping up, maybe get me some dudes who are just notorious for stepping up in their group because we need that.
Yeah. And look, the way you produce doesn't always mean that you are meant to be a leader. I think that's the tough thing about sports in general. Your best player is typically your leader.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't work out that way, right? So going back to my tech days, okay, they had different tracks, okay? When you work in the business world, the corporate world, you have different tracks, and you can choose whether you want to take the track of being a manager. Once you're at the place for long enough, you choose whether you want to be a manager or you choose whether you want to just be an individual contributor. And I think what we're seeing with the Kings is that the Kings might have really good individual contributors, but nobody that really wants to take that manager track.
Yeah.
And just because you're really good at your job doesn't mean that you should be a manager.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're going to find out pretty soon here if there is anybody on this team that is going to take that manager track.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you this much, a championship team is not normally a team with a bunch of individual contributors. There has to be at least one, and probably more than one.
Yeah.
Right? If you look at some of these other teams that have won, I would say Jokic. It's the same idea. To me, and I don't know the ins and outs of the Nuggets, but it feels like Jokic is the De'Aaron Fox, Steph, lead by example type. And Jamal Murray, again, I don't know, but it feels like Jamal Murray is that guy that, is more vocal. I know he's more vocal on the court.
Yeah.
He seems like that guy that's going to rally the troops, and he is on that manager track. Whereas Jokic, and to be honest, Jokic might be so good of an individual contributor.
Right.
It might not
Everyone just
matter.
falls in
Right.
line,
It
yeah.
might not matter. But in general, companies that do well have a good mix. If you have a team and you're ready to bring somebody up and you realize and you look back at your team, man, I guess I just hired a bunch of individual contributors. I don't know who's going to manage these people. If I want to take that next step, who's going to be the next me?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where the Kings are struggling right now. By default, it should be De'Aaron, right? But we don't know if that's what he wants to do.
It's really crazy because if I'm thinking about trades and I'm just trying to think like pie in the sky, if we could just pluck anybody in the NBA onto this roster, who would actually make this team the best? In a weird way, I feel like it's Jimmy Butler, right? Like, isn't that incredibly telling that that's kind of, you can have Giannis, you can have Lukas, you can have your ADs, whatever. It feels like the Kings need a guy like Jimmy Butler who walked into a very similar situation in a very similar timeline to that Minnesota team. He walked in and he was like, okay, there's Andrew Wiggins here. There's Cat here. I like some of the pieces here. But he quickly found out there's no dogs in this room. And that's, I mean, we do dog segments every game.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some dogs on this team, but my fear is Jimmy Butler walks into this Kings locker room and says, I like Fox. I like some. Oh, Monk. Oh,
I think he would say Malik.
I think he
Malik
would say
is
Malik
the guy
for sure.
I would not count. Malik
I think
is
he
the
would
guy.
push De'Aaron.
Yes, based on his role, I think Malik is supposed to be the individual contributor.
Right.
I don't think I'm not in Malik's court, you know what I mean, or in his kitchen trying to say it could be Malik, because I think he is the individual contributor. The problem is you got too many. Right now, that's what it seems like. Really good. They help your company. You're successful. You're pretty successful. But to take that next step, we need a manager to manage this whole situation. And the Kings don't seem to have that.
No,
they don't.
No, they just need somebody internally who's going to hold everybody accountable and not be. And it's a really tough spot. Like if you're Monty, like that's not an easy thing to do. It's easy to look at Basketball Reference and see who scored 15 points a game.
Jimmy's not available, so who else is there?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, unfortunately. That guy over in the Bay Area who like brings some accountability. Of course, that's a whole separate set of issues.
Well, they just said they're not moving.
To your point, there's not a lot of people around the league who bring that and bring the cachet of like, nah, like you got to respect me even if I am not a starter or if I'm not a heavy contributor. There's not many guys like that. And that's what makes this specific situation so tough. And I can't imagine how Mike Brown must feel about it, but he's been looking around for it and there's no answer. And if you're Monty McNair, I don't know how you go out and you find a guy who fits that mold. Like you really have to search. I don't want to say high and low, but you're going to have to do some digging and probably talk to some people and figure out Who brings that side of it? Because it can't just be a guy who shoots and a guy who defends will be a great fit. Apparently, there's also some personality traits that this team just kind of lacks.
Yeah. Got to get to a break. When we get back, let's take a step back. Are we overreacting?
Probably.
Could this be used as a springboard? Why does it feel like this is a conversation we've had before? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike with the left hand. The Kings lead by 3.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg, and the KCRE 3 Weather Center. Your Monday forecast includes a mix of sun and clouds. Daytime highs in the lower 50s. We'll have increasing clouds tonight and chance for showers early Tuesday. Get the latest forecast on the KCRE 3 News and the KCRE 3 app.
The new year is here at Folsom Lake Kia. Shop my favorite dealer, Folsom Lake Kia, for low interest rates, low payment with 0 down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia for over 25 years right here in Sacramento.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes, and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Golden Globes was last night. We got Joe on the Sac chat. We had mentioned that Succession did well. Yes, so did The Bear.
Alan's favorite.
No, I like the show. It's a great show. Great show.
It is. It's a phenomenal show.
It's a great show. It's great.
It's
Great's
really
fine.
good. It's really, really good.
Great's fine. You know,
it's awesome.
Succession did well. Who else did well? A lot of shows did well. I know there was.
I saw some drama from it. I saw there was a whole Selena Gomez asking to take a picture with Timothy Chalamet, and Kylie Jenner says no, and then Selena tells Taylor Swift.
That's right.
That's all I got from the Golden Globes.
And you got to think that
any of it.
I'm just imagining now something like that happens, and I'm assuming Travis and Taylor Swift, they don't live together yet. But I'm
Travis Kelce. Sorry, I was thinking Travis Scott. It's just whoa. Well, we were talking Kylie Jenner.
But I do this with relationships where when you see a relationship that maybe you don't believe in or you don't know how it's going to work, you just ask yourself, what type of conversations are they having? Yeah. Can you imagine Taylor calling Travis getting ready for the NFL playoffs, and she's just like, babe, you'll never believe what happened at the Golden Globes.
Right.
So
Selena told me.
wanted to talk to Timothy and have a picture with Timothy, and Kylie said no. And Travis is just, dude, my body hurts.
What? Yeah. What?
No, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
No
what?
Way. No,
she said that? Wow.
That's crazy.
And then what?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
Dude.
You for real?
Sorry I couldn't come.
Yeah.
Dang, that sounds crazy.
No, that is crazy, though.
Sorry I couldn't be there for you.
Yeah. I'm sorry that happened or
whatever.
Or congrats. I'm not really sure. So shout out to all the winners from the Golden Globes last night. At least there were some winners because there wasn't one in Sacramento as the Kings lose, to put it nicely, to the Pelicans 133-100, which surprisingly was not the biggest loss they've had to the Pelicans, as they've also lost to the Pelicans by 36 points.
Dude, that's awesome.
36 actual points.
I think
Now,
I saw too. Sorry, real quick. Last year, I was looking to just see if there were any other blowouts last year, and guess my surprise when I look at the highest opponent totals of last year, and what do I see sitting here at 5th?
Okay,
but 136 points scored by the New Orleans Pelicans on February 5th, 2023. I'm sorry, as the Kings lose to the Pelicans on February 5th, 2023 by a score of 104 to 136. So this is not just a this year thing.
this is a real thing.
This is a real thing. This is a real thing.
This is a real thing.
Yeah.
You
Kings
cannot
have lost
see them.
5 straight to the
But
Pelicans.
here's the thing. The Pelicans
Might even be 6 even.
The Pelicans are in the 7th seed, right?
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, they only have one more loss than the Kings, so it's not as if they're which says another thing about the Kings.
Keep tricking games off and look how quick you fall. Like I said, I put on Twitter yesterday.
I didn't really realize
I was
it was
joking
this close.
about it. It's not a joke, though.
Yeah.
The number 7 Kings versus the number 10 Warriors play-in tournament final at Golden One Center for the 8th seed is gonna be a movie.
That is
That's
not
where
it.
that is where we're trending towards right now.
That is not it. The Kings right now have a 1-game lead on the Mavericks, who are in the 6th seed, the Pelicans, who are in the 7th seed, and the Rockets are in the 8th seed with 16. So, of course, they're 2 games ahead of the Rockets. But from here we go again, just like last season, 14 losses for the Kings in the 5th seed, and you have 17 losses for the Suns in the 9th seed. That is how close everything is, with the Mavericks and Pelicans both having 15 losses. And who's up next? You got the Pistons, who, by the way, I'm afraid. I'm scared of going to Detroit. You got the Hornets. I'm less scared about going to Charlotte. I'm less scared about going to Charlotte.
I would hope you have something for them.
Then after that, you get the Sixers in Philly, January 12th, which just got moved to national television in Philly.
I don't want to.
After that, that's Sunday, 4 p.m., Kings at Bucks. Then after that, they got Bradley Beal back. They tricked off a game last night, the Suns did, but they did look good for majority of it. You got to go to Phoenix, okay? And then it's the return of Halliburton. And then after that, January 22nd, the Hawks come to town, who are going to want their get back for what happened in Atlanta. Then after that, you go to the Bay.
That Kings road trip that's coming up is I mean, the Kings have so many road games coming up, and we talked about it before this stretch of bad games happened. This is the stretch that you had to take advantage of because, yeah, you mentioned going on the road to Golden State. That starts a road trip of Golden State, Dallas, Memphis, Miami, Indiana, Chicago, Cleveland. You come home for a couple games, then you're back to Thunder, Suns, Nuggets.
Wow. And that you have 2 games with the Nuggets within what? You have the Nuggets at home.
February 9th and then February 14th.
Yep.
Brutal. So you better get your team straight now because, again, if you're dropping games or being close to dropping these amount of games that they've had in the past 2 weeks, I mean, it's getting scary. It's starting to get really, really scary when you're performing poorly against, a handful of the worst teams in the NBA, and then you're about to start playing some of the best. Like right now, you said that on this next road trip, Detroit, Charlotte, but then you have Philly, Milwaukee, Phoenix. Doesn't get easier, fellas.
It doesn't get easier. It's not going to get easier, but you got to feel like a change gonna come, just like Sam Cook said. I just can't see.
Got to be to the actual roster because I don't see them flipping this thing around. I bet they'll play 2 more good games.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Now, like I said, the question is, who is the biggest trade that's been made in season that led to a championship, right? Because the thing is, there's tweaks that you can add, but I just don't know, and we'll get that for you when we get back from a break. You go out, you get a Zach LaVine. I still don't think you win the championship.
No,
I think it's more so for going into the 2024-2025 season. That's how I feel. It's about beating the other teams that are going to have more time because the season is over to focus on this stuff. And now you're going up against whatever other team is interested. And there's only one winner. There's only one winner.
Yep.
So everybody else is going to be making moves.
Yep.
That's how it works every single season. All right. Got to get to a break. Continuing the conversation. And CJ says he likes playing in Sacramento. We will discuss why. Also, the Kings being a little bit too one-dimensional. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
New year, new you. And what better way to start fresh than with a new ride from Elk Grove Kia? Nothing beats second, whether it's a second shot at love, a second shot at life, or even seconds at the all-you-can-eat buffet. But when it comes to your next car, no one believes more in second chances than Elk Grove Kia. Bankruptcies, challenged credit, no problem. Our finance department specializes in turning challenges into triumphs. We guarantee no one does challenged credit better than us. Elk Grove Kia can get you into a new ride in 2024. Elk Grove Kia's finance department has over 100 years of combined experience. Elk Grove Kia's team can navigate even the most challenging credit pasts. We understand that life happens, and we're here to help you move forward in a brand new Kia. So don't wait any longer when you could be enjoying 2024 in a brand new Kia. Head over to Elk Grove Kia today in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or visit elkgrovekia.com. Your second chance awaits. New year, new you, new ride. Only at Elk Grove Kia.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Book your free T-check and free exam at Revive Men's Health Sacramento. Now also offering affordable, cutting-edge weight loss medications. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's time to buck up, Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore.
Great selection, great factory financing and incentive.
And great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock.
Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
There are many things to love about winter. Cozy sweaters, celebrations, and family time. But winter can also bring many stressors, extra expenses, seasonal bugs, and so much family time. If you and your loved ones are feeling stressed or anxious this winter, CalHope can help. Check out our free mental health resources at calhope.org today.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Yeah, CJ McCollum had quite the game. And he had some things to say about why he plays so well when he comes to Sacramento, which I personally didn't know. But I guess the question is this real life? What is this? So we will get to that in a second. But here we go. We always got something for you. Pull up, park, ski. Yep, it's that easy. At Sierra at Tahoe, Sactown Sports has teamed up with Sierra at Tahoe this winter, and all you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now, looking for caller number 3 to win a pair of lift tickets to experience Sierra at Tahoe this winter. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140 is the number. 916-339-1140. Pair of lift tickets to Sierra at Tahoe. It was snowing up a storm this past weekend. Take your chance right now. Call in. Nate's Gotcha to get your lift tickets, your pair of lift tickets to Sierra at Tahoe as we continue the conversation about CJ McCollum. Also the Kings being one-dimensional. So here you go, Chris. This one will be a fun one for you. The Kings are 19-2 in games that they shoot above 35% from 3. They are 4-10 in the rest of their games. That is from Kings Lead on X. Thank you, Kings Lead. Talk about living and dying by the 3. They are 19-2 in games where they shoot 35% or above 35% from 3. They are 4-10 in the rest of the games. That's one-dimensional. That's as one-dimensional as you get. 4-10.
Yeah. That's terrible. That is terrible. Like that's you I mean, it makes, a bit of it makes sense. Of course, you're not hitting shots. You're probably not at your best. How many times are you going to win in general when you're not at your best? Sure. But I think it's just the spirit of what it's saying is this team really only wins ball games when they hit shots because it's when they feel like all things are clicking. There's no other pathway to winning a basketball game besides hitting shots from the perimeter and having everything work off of that. Mike Brown talked about it a bit yesterday, and he's talked about it before. We've talked about it before. Can we see, I think they've had one of these kind of wins, and it was without De'Aaron, and it was in a comeback. Actually, it was a loss, to the Warriors. Actually, never mind. It was the Klay Thompson shot. That's really the only game I can think of where the Kings played a 105-103 kind of game. It feels like too much. Yes, of course, it's great to have offense, but sometimes you're not always going to knock down shots. You're not always going to have offense. Offense isn't always going to come easy. Sometimes your opponent's going to take things away from you. You've got to be able to stop them too. Like it's not just hey, we decide if we're going to win the game or not. Like you need to try and defend and get a different result. Like just because you're not hitting shots, okay, well, maybe force them into some ugly shots and win 110-108. Like it's too much. Is it got to be 120, 130 plus for these guys to win? And I think a big part of that is Mike Brown's talked about it. It's just they kind of come out lazy, and especially at home, it was a big thing last year where they had a much better road record than home record, and it was because Mike Brown the team kind of concluded, I think we bank on the fans giving us energy at home instead of us bringing our own energy. And
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either. No, I don't,
because I've heard that for so long.
I don't think they believed it either, because we would ask them and they would always say, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things. And that was almost the default, like, I guess you could say it's this, but going through it, I mean, I don't think it was that. But I think that there's I think there's a problem with this team where your confidence shouldn't just come from making shots. They need to take pride in the other things. They're taking too much pride right now in just being offensive juggernauts, but they don't care about, the rebounding was disgraceful. It was disgraceful. I think the Kings had like 6 rebounds at the end of the first quarter. You can't have that.
Yeah, it was
that's
6 to 23 or something.
Inexcusable. Inexcusable completely. Like, that's some elementary school and one team is head and shoulders better than the other kind of numbers.
It ended up being 51 for the Pelicans, obviously, to 25 for the Kings.
And I'm sure that 25 is a little bit elevated of a number in that fourth quarter. It's inexcusable. Like, you need to take pride in the small things. And that's like what we were talking about before when it comes to playing against teams like length, like just being locked in enough to know, hey, tonight's a night where we got to be early on everything instead of, just kind of going into the flow or going into ISO. Or yesterday it kind of, and it's looked like it for a couple games, feels like they're going through some motions in their offense instead of really, attacking with every single second of that offense. It feels like there's a bit of, okay, and then I do the handoff to Sabonis, and then I set the screen here, and then I either cut or go around. And you can almost see them like lackadaisically going through the motions. It just feels like again, if they're not hitting, their confidence only comes from good offense, and they don't take pride in getting charges or other things that can give you momentum. It's only 3-point shooting, and that's, again, a fundamental problem with this team.
Yeah, and, if you can only win one way, you're not going to get to, and I know they were just a 3 seed last season, but I'm to the point now where you can make the argument they were just on, not to be disrespectful, but they were just on a crazy heater.
Yeah. Well, and the shots didn't fall in the playoffs, and that's probably why they lost, is because they continued to say, oh, our offense will come eventually. Well, what if it doesn't? And it didn't.
Yeah.
That's how you lose a series to a team that, again, I think we all acknowledge the Kings were the better team than the Warriors last year. The Warriors took that series.
Yep. That's exactly what happened. And, you can sit there and say, okay, this could have went this way or this could have went that way. Well, it was out of our control. No, it's never out of your control because there's other ways to win basketball games. If that wasn't the case, then everybody would just chuck up threes, right? And I know threes are being shot a lot these days, but there are other ways to win basketball games. This was an interesting note, Chris, from CJ McCollum, who went on after he balled out, right? He was not missing. You don't have Zion. Okay, you don't have to worry about that. And then all of a sudden, CJ decides that he's going to just go in fuego, go Super Saiyan, and not miss a shot. And he had this to say in the postgame.
For you, there are certain gyms where you just feel better, you have a better rhythm, your shot just feels better. Is this one of those gyms and places for you?
Yeah, Sacramento was supposed to draft me. They had me come back for a second workout. Actually told me they were going to take me at 7, and they didn't. So
it's personal.
I enjoy playing here.
And if you are driving right now or not watching the show on YouTube, Chris is imitating CJ McCollum's face. Chris is not happy.
He skipped on me.
What's the problem?
So I have to cook them every time now.
Well, he didn't cook them.
Get out of here, bro.
Yeah, he hasn't cooked them every single time. But I guess that's always the intent, to try to cook them. And what are we doing with that, right? Because aren't there so many teams
by like 10 other teams too? It's
it gets to the point where there's just too many receipts to be had.
That's what I'm saying.
Can we leave receipt?
Also, bro, how long ago was
culture?
that? How please, let's leave receipt culture in 2023.
We're not going
please, because CJ was drafted in 2013. The Kings took Ben McLemore. Ben McLemore's out of the league. Whoever was the coach, I think it was George Karl's gone. GM long gone.
Right.
The only person who I think's there, I'm pretty sure that's Vivek's first, maybe second year of owning the team.
But that's the Michael Jordan mindset. Just never forget. Never forget.
Okay. Okay.
You know, there's just too many receipts.
Well, maybe if CJ had that same smoke for everybody, you know.
Well, that's going to say.
Like, so
you're telling me about every.
So you're telling me you can improve your energy on a given night.
So basically, you have these guys. If you're not taking one, I've even seen some with. Oh, I was the second pick. You know, I got to show people.
Yeah,
I got to show people this. You just end up with you should have a vendetta against the whole league.
Right.
Then
I guess everyone's got to have a chip, right?
You have to.
I guess.
And then you end up like Josh Rosen. Hey, they're all gonna. What was it? They're all gonna regret it.
And then he walked it back later because everyone kept calling him out, being like, a lot of those teams didn't need quarterbacks because the Niners took Mike McGlinchey that year, lineman, and it's like they didn't need. They had, you know, looking back, Jimmy G, but like what, like so he's like, oh, okay, so there's only 6 teams that are gonna regret me now, and it's like, okay, man, chill.
Yeah,
it works for you when you go off, but I'm looking at CJ last year. He had a couple stinkers against the Kings last year, and I didn't hear anything about this when the Pelicans lost by 18 points.
Yeah.
And CJ was 6 of 19, 12 points. Didn't hear anything about how he had something for the Kings that night. Didn't hear anything when the Kings when they lost to the Pelicans by 15 and CJ only had 14 points. You have something for him that night? How about when the Kings beat the Pelicans by 32? CJ actually went off, but was that, you know, where was that extra boost?
Hey,
I don't know.
Well, he had it last night.
I don't know.
That's what we do know. Got to get to a break. When we get back, it wouldn't be a show in January if a team that's looking for a trade didn't talk about Pascal Siakam. That's what we're going to do next. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
We're for Washington. We love Febrez's new scent. Refresh and energize.
So much we made a song about it.
I can't escape this feeling inside. Refresh and energize. It's a mood, it's a vibe. Breathing for the first time. So free, so alive. Breathe happy for free. Smells like paradise. Breathe happy for free. La 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 la.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details. Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Right now, American Energy offering $0 HVAC diagnostics. That's normally $99 for nothing. Let the American Energy team test your system, connections, and all the moving parts of your system to ensure it's functioning properly. Let me say that again. $0 to get your HVAC diagnostic-ted. That's not even a word. That's normally $100. Making the uncomfortable comfortable. That's what American Energy does. That's what they've done since 1981. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since then. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Do it before January 31st or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
The new year is here at Folsom Lake Kia. Shop my favorite dealer, Folsom Lake Kia, for low interest rates, low payment with zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia for over 25 years right here in Sacramento.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. as we start with the trade talks for today. A lot of conversations being had, a lot of information. No disrespect to anybody that's reported, but it's always funny to see names that you don't normally see start to pop up with sources. I got sources.
Sauces.
Everybody has them. And we now have Shams saying the Hawks, Pacers, and Mavericks remain interested in trading for Pascal Siakam. And Shams is getting a little bit of beef as well, because this whole thing and how you want to frame trade packages and who wants to look good, who doesn't, it's all through the lens of, I just said other people pop up, but it's through Shams and Woj.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's the battle
Can
who had a better
interest pretty usefully, right?
Yes, who had a better trade deadline, and people will joke about it. But we are only getting this information from these two dudes. Now, this is Shams talking about Pascal to the Kings, but what I just read is prior to this. You just can't keep up. And we didn't even talk about Friday.
Friday was crazy. One of the craziest.
Yeah, we didn't talk about. So Friday, basically, it felt like it was about to go down.
Yes.
And then Shams reports again, the Kings pull out, and it's almost as if people are mad with Shams because it's almost as if he's just acting like a mouthpiece for the Raptors and is making people feel like it's slanted how he's speaking, and it's only one perspective. Here's Shams about Pascal to the Kings.
I'm told the Raptors and Kings were in active conversations about a Pascal Siakam trade last week, but for the Kings, two factors have been important. One, the timeliness of a deal. They want to get a deal if it were to get done sooner rather than later. They want to get their team as a whole and really build chemistry and build. If Pascal Siakam, they were able to land him. And the other thing is also the framework of a deal. There's a package that they want to give to Toronto potentially, revolving around, I'm told, Harrison Barnes. And they don't want that framework to change. The Raptors have had multiple offers around the league. And from the Kings side, they've had a gaining interest in Siakam. If you can bring him into a big three that has Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, you have Pascal Siakam, you have three guys that have been all-stars. I mean, that's a pretty good big three. But this deal needed to happen quickly. And when it didn't, I'm told Toronto was informed from Sacramento that they are out. They're not involved right now.
Damn.
But these things can be fluid. We're a month out from the trade deadline. At this point, I'm told the only way it really ignites is if Toronto comes back to Sacramento to re-engage. The one thing to remember as well is Pascal Siakam is going to be a free agent in the offseason, and unless he signs an extension with the Raptors. And his free agency, will he re-sign with that team? Will he commit to a team long-term when he's traded, like a team like Sacramento or wherever?
Yeah.
Dallas, Atlanta, Indiana, all teams interested in Pascal Siakam. But if you're going to trade for a guy like that, give up multiple assets, multiple rotation players, you want to know where you stand in the summer. And so this is a complex situation in its.
So I'm just sitting here thinking a package around Harrison Barnes. I mean, is it just a ton of picks? I'm not understanding.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some like loose things here and there. From what I understand, yeah, it'd be like a Harrison Barnes. He mentions another rotation player. I would assume if Harrison Barnes is the head of it, or the name that Shams says, to me, that probably tells me it's the old reliable, right? It's probably some version of HB, Herter, Davion, whether it be all three, whether it be two, and then probably a pick, like maybe 2 picks, who knows? But also, I mean, that sounds like to me, whatever Toronto was asking, whether it was, I mean, yeah, we're hearing like maybe Malik's name got thrown into that bunch as well. Sounds like whatever was said, the Kings said, okay, if this is what you're going to keep saying, we're done. Like if this is going to continue to be a conversation that ends up coming back to Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, whoever that untouchable is that made Monty McNair put the phone down, sounds to me like he's not budging, and it's not going to budge until Toronto comes back to Monty McNair and says, okay, this conversation will not end with Malik Monk or Keegan Murray on the table. Let's do it.
Yeah. And if you are the Raptors, both teams are in a precarious position because you have the Raptors who don't want to lose Pascal for nothing,
right,
if he doesn't re-sign with them in this summer. And you have the Kings and really any team who says, hey, man, you waited too long on this. That's not our problem. We're not going to give you the farm for somebody who already has said that he wants to test free agency.
Right.
So that's the rock in a hard place. And Masai may be the reason why the Kings or somebody can get it done without that last piece is because you end up losing him. Losing him for a discount is not as bad as losing him for nothing.
Yep.
And that's where you're headed. I don't know what now, the report that I just saw had, who was it? The Pacers, the Mavericks, and the Hawks. So, and the Hawks. What are the Atlanta Hawks doing?
They don't know.
They have no clue.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
They're just trying to not be bad, but this does not bring the Hawks into any sort of conversations.
I hate to do couch GM here.
Yeah.
But it feels like it is somebody on the couch just waking up each morning.
It's 2K.
Yes. Hey, okay, Trae Young's pretty good. Do I want to build around him? DeJounte, he's available. Jalen Johnson, he's not. Matter of fact, we're going to go get Pascal. But who are we going to get? What?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the point of that. I guess it would just be because they already committed to bringing on Quinn Snyder. They already fired, was it McMillan they had last year? I guess they've kind of, in a way, they've already committed to a retooling. And this is, clearly the DeJounte thing didn't work out. This is I don't know, just a re-scrambling of it. Like, I don't know. I don't know why Atlanta would be involved. To me, Indiana even, like, they're too early in their process to be making a move like that.
Depending on
Dallas is desperate. I mean, Dallas makes tons of sense just because they're already in the Kyrie business. So you've already kind of signed up for that life because no one except for LeBron is going to end up trading for Kyrie. So Dallas kind of makes the most sense, but I do think this is going to get to a situation, to your point, like you said, feels like it's aiming or heading towards like where we got with Dame, where it was, okay, everyone knows what the situation is, so no one's going to overpay. If everyone knows, like you said, Pascal Siakam is heading into free agency, I don't think this is going to be one of those where someone's going to blink first. I don't think the Dallas Mavericks are going to say, okay, let's or the Atlanta Hawks will budge and say, forget it. Yeah, we'll send you DeJounte, and here's Sadiq Bey and a couple other pieces that's maybe too much, but we want to make sure that we're the ones who win this Pascal race. I don't see that happening. I see everybody kind of looking at each other and saying, yeah, we like Pascal Siakam, but especially with all the outside circumstances, I'm not gonna risk it all to bring him in here for nothing. Are you gonna? I think everyone's gonna collectively look at each other and say, no, I'm not gonna throw too much. I mean, clearly the Kings have set their line. They're not gonna do it. I don't know why. You're gonna have to force a team to make a mistake if you're Masai and you want to get the deal that apparently he wants.
The more I think about this, the more I don't know how this is going to get done without it being a 3-team deal.
Yeah.
Because a 3-team deal would be the only way two teams could give up something that the Raptors want, but not too much, and everybody and get back something that they want. And everybody would get happy, would be happy. That's the only way.
And maybe that's how the Kings get involved in all of this. Maybe it isn't Pascal that's going to end up being the thing. Maybe the Kings ship off, just Davion Mitchell, and they get back a backup point guard of their own. I mean, I think Dennis Schroeder just got moved to the bench with Emmanuel Quickley being put into their starting lineup. Maybe the Kings just say, hey, yeah, Siakam can go over to Atlanta. Atlanta can go here, and then we'll take Schroeder. Atlanta can take Davion Mitchell. There we go. And now we have a 3-team trade, and everyone's kind of happy and got a version of what they want.
Yeah, because DeJounte Murray and Emmanuel Quickley, that's not going to work.
No, it doesn't make sense.
That's not going to work at all. So I don't know what these teams are thinking. I have no clue what the Pacers are.
That's what I was thinking too, right? Is that a Miles Turner and Buddy Hield?
Miles Turner is a name that's come up. Right?
What do they want Buddy Hield for? What do they want Miles Turner for? Like they have Jakob Poeltl.
Right.
But this is also the question that we kept asking on Friday too. Nobody knows what the Raptors want, including the Raptors, I believe. I don't think the Raptors know what their goal is. We were just talking about what's the Hawks' goal. What do the Raptors want out of this? Do they want picks? Because they didn't get any picks for the OG trade. Do they want ready-to-win-now players? That's what it seems to be. It seems to be they want players to surround Scotty Barnes with. The Kings can't offer them that. I mean, they're not giving up Keegan Murray. If you want Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter in terms of NBA ready now guys, that's really the best we can give you. And I don't know what those other situations can offer you. So to me, step one has to be what do you want, Masai? What is your goal with this Raptors team? And maybe, like you said, 3-team trade something. Maybe then we can have a better idea of how to work something out. But until you know what you want, I don't know how anyone can help you.
Yeah, I got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing to talk Kings, more of your calls, more of your texts, more of your sack chat. We'll also go over the NFL playoffs and what games look intriguing. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
You own a truck because you want to get the job done right. TruckSmart is your work truck headquarters. For over 35 years, they've been outfitting trucks for leading construction firms, service providers, and municipalities in the region. Truck racks, toolboxes, lighting, commercial shells, rhino lining, they've got it all. And their expert installers will get it done right the first time. So visit the truck experts at TruckSmart today with locations in Rockland and Auburn. They'll make your truck your favorite tool. TruckSmart.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
It's time to buck up, Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports, one more hour with you, taking up to 2 p.m. A lot of Kings, a lot of Niners. We'll continue to even do more Niners as we get closer to the wild card round, which they get to chill. They get to chillax. Where are you at with no Brock, right? Debo did play. Where are you at with the I didn't get to watch that.
Where are you at with because we were watching the shellacking.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Can I add something about you guys were talking about Darnold earlier with Emil, talking about how he just didn't show up in the second half. He had a lot of starters in the first half.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he had a lot.
Yeah, people had
almost everyone sat like as second. Like I can't believe Trent Williams played a drive they scored a touchdown on, and they were using their starters a lot. Like Ayuk and Debo got some serious run. George Kittle didn't play, but that's pretty key, I think.
Yeah, Chris Conley, I think was.
Oh, he sucks.
He was the number one receiver in the second half.
They were dropping like at the end. They dropped some passes that could have put them in place to win. That were Chris Conley had his first catch of the year. Ronnie Bell looked good, but that's about it.
Ronnie Bell is good.
Ray had some drops.
Yeah,
it was just like Ray's coming back, so that's good. He got some play, but
no Danny Gray.
No, he's done. That's my opinion. He's done in SF. I was surprised that these guys did get run. The starters did get the run they got, especially Trent Williams. Shocked by that, like shocked. But it makes sense. Schlereth was on the call, friend of the station, kind of used to be on all the time.
Yeah.
Just saying, like offensively, you got to stay in the groove. It's a little different than being on defense. You got to have that chemistry, kind of go over, and being gone for essentially 3 weeks is really tough.
Yeah.
Especially against teams that are playing for their lives so desperately. I just I was shocked how long they got run, and I don't know. Did you guys see when McVay pulled Puka out? You guys probably didn't.
No, we didn't watch it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, I was catching it up and down between.
I was not trying to watch the Kings game. I was
I
don't watch anything but the Kings. But Puka had 2 records to get. The receiving yards and just receptions.
And Niners didn't want him to get it.
No, and he kept him in until like halfway through the third, and he gets it. And then you see McVay mouth the words, "Get him out!" Like furious. He had to keep him in. He even said at halftime to the sideline reporter that they didn't want to keep him in, but they're going to because they're going to get him the record. So there were some side storylines there, but starters definitely played more than I would have guessed.
So here you go. As an update, I wouldn't call this breaking news at all, but as an update, as far as the Eagles are concerned, Nick Sirianni, this is from John Clark, NBC Sports Philadelphia, 31 minutes ago. Nick Sirianni says he is hopeful that A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and Devontae Smith will be able to play Monday night. He says they will see how the week goes. I mean,
I'm hopeful that the Kings stop losing to the Pelicans too.
What happens if Mariota wins a game in the playoffs?
I don't know.
Right? Like at this
nothing.
point.
No, I mean, yeah.
Nothing in the short term. He gets signed somewhere else.
And Jalen Hurts is good the next week.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have followed up that question.
No, Jalen Hurts is
Jalen Hurts right back in the mix, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Marcus Mariota is also not.
It's funny to think. It's funny to think about because I would say Carson Wentz had a better season the year that he got hurt. But if we did the same exercise with Carson Wentz and Nick Foles,
Carson Wentz was MVP. That's
what I'm saying.
Different.
It would be last year. It would be Jalen Hurts last year if he did get injured, but they had Gardner Minshew.
Yeah. Speaking of Carson Wentz, I don't know if you guys know this. He ran the ball 16 times yesterday. Maybe 17.
He's a mobile guy.
Trying to show his health.
They were running him up the middle, like straight up. It was very weird.
They do it in Baltimore. Isn't that what Kyle Shanahan said?
Yeah, he did say that right after his quarterback of the future got his leg snapped.
Yeah.
His ankle ripped.
Yeah, none of those conversations. No conversations about the training staff this season for the Niners, so that's good.
There were some changes, though, I think. So it's, I don't know. Because injuries have been an issue for the Niners all of Shanahan's tenure.
Right. Yeah.
There's nothing worse than the week 18 injury. We had a couple this week. I mean, Sam Laporta, I saw that Dan Campbell said that he's supposed to. Dan Campbell said he's
okay.
Not optimistic, but he's not that he's okay. I think he said they gave specifics of what he hurt, but that he's it's not out of the question that Sam Laporta won't play this week. But that was a completely meaningless game for the Lions. I have no idea. It was just a Dan Campbell special of he just didn't want to ever have his team lay down and quit for a day. So,
right.
Tom
Thibodeau
potentially, pretty much. It's like he almost cost his team a legitimate playoff run. Like you almost lost your team, almost your most reliable weapon.
Their whole playoff seeding was based on the Cowboys, correct? If the Cowboys won or lost?
Yeah, the Cowboys would have had to lose, and I think there was someone else who would have had to lose for the Lions. I think the Eagles and the Cowboys would have had to lose.
It was on the table.
Order to get them to number 2. But I mean, it was on the table, but it was also
Cowboys broke away.
Worth the squeeze. Like, it's just not. If you could potentially hurt Sam Laporta, and I think they had another injury in that game too that was pretty costly. It wasn't worth the mental victory that I think Dan Campbell counted it as. And then even in the Eagles game too, like we don't know what's up with Devonta Smith either. And I know the Eagles were actually in a situation where they actually
he didn't even play that game.
Yeah.
He didn't play. AJ Brown.
I'm sorry, AJ Brown.
Down.
I said AJ Smith. I meant
AJ Brown went down, and then Jalen
too.
Hurts' finger was pointing in the wrong direction.
He was flipping us all off.
Yeah, he was. There was a lot going on.
Yeah.
Some of it's avoidable. Some of it isn't. Yeah. We'll get to the playoffs and just kind of break down the games here in a couple minutes. I wanted to spend some time on Keegan Murray because that's a name who 1 week he almost has one game a week where you say, man, can't move that guy, right? And I still feel like that. But should the disappearing acts be expected? Part of me feels like yes, because it's only his second year. But part of me also feels like, again, is Keegan, what is he, the 4th scoring option on this team? I get a little bit confused with what to make of Keegan Murray. And I know he's so young, but also we're shaping this thing up for him to have a pretty big leap next season. We can't have these conversations next season.
Next season, no excuse.
We can't.
Yeah.
We can't. And it would still only be his 3rd season in the league. But
he's an older rookie too.
Right.
You don't get the benefit of the doubt as much when you come in after he had 2 years of college. So he's an older rookie. Got to kind of be further along in your development. It's not fair, but I mean, I would say, Keegan's you could argue he's maybe getting, not right now because I'm looking at his game log. I mean, he had a 28-point game against the Magic. He had 18 against the Raptors. He had 8 last night, but it has been a reoccurring thing throughout this season.
The stinker is going to come after. I mean, really, he's a microcosm of the Kings.
Yeah. No, I think you can't. It feels like he's getting a little bit of the Harrison Barnes pass right now, where maybe he's not brought up as much because he is such a nice guy, and I don't think anyone wants to put the blame on him. But yeah, I mean, when you talk about this season, when we talked about the Kings and not making moves for getting Kyle Kuzma or Jeremy Grant or whoever your favorite free agent was, it was we're banking on Keegan's internal development and internal growth. And we saw De'Aaron take a leap. We've seen Keegan take a leap, but it hasn't been consistent enough. And I think you're going to bake that in with it being his second year. He's going to have some inconsistencies. He's kind of also been let down by his teammates. Like, it's supposed to be, okay, Keegan has 28 on a night. That's great. We want that from Keegan. He has 18. We can do that. We can live with that. But on a night where he has 8, okay, we need Kevin Huerter to have a night. We need Malik Monk to have a night. We need, last year Terrence Davis would have a night. We need Chris Duarte to have a night. Yeah. That's not happening. We're not getting that consistent third option, whoever it is. And it's supposed to be Keegan more nights than not, but in the same way, it's supposed to be De'Aaron more nights than not. But we saw the other night against Orlando, De'Aaron can't do it every night. And so you need a Malik Monk to have a 37-point game. Keegan can't be expected this early in his development. Year 3 is a different story, but year 2, as they're kind of transitioning, he can't be that third option every single night. You need somebody else to have it. So there is some blame that definitely needs to be put on Keegan Murray's shoulders, but it also is he's not getting many favors from the other guys around him either.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, 916-339-1140. If you want to be a part of the conversation. Ken got about a little less than a minute. Ken, what you got for us? Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Well, I tell you, I called last week and I said, you're not getting consistent play from your 2-guard position. You're getting almost nothing from your 3. And frankly, Keegan Murray doesn't give you enough night in, night out. There's too much inconsistency. This team doesn't rebound. They don't shoot free throws well. And when they get into tight games coming down the stretch, they're going to start following them to put them out the line because 1 out of 2 isn't going to get it. This team doesn't have a defensive presence, and they need a dog. They need somebody that after a game like today, they're going to be afraid to come back in the locker room because he's going to rip them a new one. It can't be the coach because he's going to get tired of yelling at them all the time. This has got to be something from within. Good teams do not lose by 33 points at home, and they don't trail by 50. That was basically ridiculous. They should be ashamed. They're not taking a step forward. They're taking a step back. And unless they get some toughness in them, this is going to be a season where we're going to be happy that they make the playoffs, maybe as the 8th or 9th seed in the playoff game if they don't step it up and start recognizing who they are and where they want to be. They have no defensive presence. They can't get a stop to save their lives. So unless you can always depend on shooting the ball well to win, but when you don't, you can't win. You only got one way to win. That is not bode well for a team that wants to take the next step. They're going to have to do something different.
Ken, I couldn't have said it better myself. Yep. Thanks for the call, Ken. Yeah, spot on. Call of the day, because that's exactly what we're thinking here. I mean, the bottom line. Now, I don't know who that person is. That's where this thing, bringing somebody into the locker room, that's the issue. I don't know who they can bring in at this stage in the game. We're thinking of it because I don't think Pascal Siakam is that person. I don't know enough, about Pascal Siakam, but I don't know if he's that person or not. I don't know where to find that person. But, yeah, I mean, I want to get into this when we get back, because that Raptors game, actually, it wasn't close enough in the Pelicans game. That Raptors game, Chris, was the first time that I believe we saw the beginning of a hack-a-king. And it was subtle. It wasn't back in the day, hey, we're going to foul somebody, 30 feet away. But the Hack-a-King showed up against Toronto, and they were able to get that W, but it probably won't be the last time if they can't figure out this free throw situation. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Bring the family and discover your next adventure. Buy the latest gear, find the best destinations, learn from the experts in fishing and hunting. On the weekend, visit the Giant Youth Fair. Free entry for youth 15 and under. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. Great call by Ken. Call of the day. And I wanted to bring that up, Chris, because I was watching Friday night, and I don't know if you noticed, it wasn't the egregious, oh, we're not even going to let this guy. A lot of that has been outlawed anyway, but it did seem like, hey, when it comes to Sabonis and he gets down there, this is what's scary, man. If you cannot hit jump shots and you are not a good free throw shooter and your game is predicated upon being inside and pump fakes and getting guys in the air because, not really athleticism, you're going to go to the free throw line a lot. Yeah. And in the playoffs, yeah, things might get reffed a bit differently, but the fouls are going to be harder, and there's going to be more of what I think we saw from Toronto to where it was subtle, where it's, dude, you're not getting that shot up. earning that at the line. And the same thing is now De'Aaron shooting the 3 ball much better, but the same thing can happen with De'Aaron Fox. And I don't know what you do about it.
I mean, that's what ended up happening with Giannis and Ben Simmons, right? I mean, Ben Simmons, it completely, you could argue it ruined his career. The fact that he was afraid to go to the free throw line ended up affecting how he drove, how aggressive he attacked the rim. And really, I mean, it just turned him into a passive player.
Right.
I'm not saying it's going to completely happen with De'Aaron or Tomas, but there's a version of it where, yeah, I mean, De'Aaron could be less aggressive attacking the rim, or Sabonis could be less inclined to try and take shots at the rim because they're, I don't want to use the term afraid, but yeah, I mean that
they'd rather not.
They'd rather not. But also, I'll do you one better. What happens in a gotta have it game? I won't say a playoff game, but just in general, a big game where you feel like the Kings, there's some stakes on the line, and the Kings are up 1 with 10 seconds to go. What's the other team going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to send you to the free throw line. And what's probably going to happen is the Kings are going to split it and give that other team an opportunity to win the game. And who knows if that team decides to go for 2, or maybe, you know, like the Warriors did in that preseason game, maybe they just say, forget it. Let's just go for the dagger and let's just try and take the 3 and end this thing and end it now. It could really end up coming back to kill the Kings in the worst moment possible. And I swear there's going to be a game where the free throws are going to straight up be the reason why the Kings lose the game. I just hope it's not in the playoffs, because there's no way that you can have your 2 most or highest quantity free throw shooters in Sabonis and Fox go to the line as much as they do, but shoot at a under 75% clip and expect things to go well in a high leverage situation.
Yeah.
You're just asking for trouble.
You are.
And people have gotten played off the floor for less. Rudy Gobert has been off the floor in key situations because he can't hit free throws. You know, Shaq, they would take him off the court in certain situations. Ben Wallace, same thing. Like, now I don't know if it's to that level yet, but these guys are really, really bad free throw shooters.
And maybe it just gets to the point where it's got to burn you. I'm looking here. Right. And Giannis is a big, so it's a little bit different. Giannis, let's play the game again then. What do you think Giannis' career
at the free throw line
percentage is from the free throw line?
It's got to be near 70. I don't know if it's like 68 or 72, but I would say plus or minus 2 for 70.
70.6.
There you go. On the dot.
70.6, and he's a leaper. So a lot of he has a better chance of getting those and ones, in my opinion, than Sabonis.
He also gets the line like 14 times a game. So it's like he's still at least making 8 of those free throws.
That's true.
De'Aaron's still hitting 5 or 6 maybe a game.
So yeah, I was just thinking about that, man, because they got Sabonis in there and they hacked him. And they felt fine about it. Now, Sabonis actually made both when they did that. It was later in the game, but it is not the last time we will see that without a doubt. Yep. And I don't
Made him this time. What's that tell you about what's going to happen next time?
You're due for a miss, and we will definitely take that chance. Yeah. So great call by Ken again. And Ken, you're getting called out in a good way. You're getting shouted out, I should say, on the Sac Chat and the text line as well. Just spot on and everything that you had to say. So that's good stuff.
Can't defend, can't rebound, can't shoot free throws. You're going to get in a lot of trouble if you can't do those 3 things.
Typically, that is not a good recipe for success.
Yep.
Not really. By the way, this is from Adam Schefter this morning. I don't know what you make of this.
I have no idea.
This was very, very unique.
Yes.
Okay, this is from Adam Schefter this morning, ESPN reporting, and this is in a sweeping overhaul. Commanders owner Josh Harris has hired 2 prominent executives, former Warriors GM Bob Myers and former
Bob Myers?
Vikings GM Rick Spielman to assist his group in searches for a new head of football operations and coach.
Interesting that Rick Spielman wouldn't want to do that himself. Rick Spielman was not a bad GM either.
Well, he might not have had a choice.
No, I mean, clearly he picks up the phone. They're like, Rick, boy, do I have a job for you. He's like, oh, I've been waiting, sir. I've been waiting. Thank you so much. Yeah, we want you to spearhead our search for a new GM. Oh, yeah, I can help. I can help you with that.
I can help you do that.
For sure.
Okay.
Not me though. Okay.
They've been hired as executives to find the executive. And
Love
how
that.
about this just
Love
for
a good search committee.
How about this just for how far success can take you? Bob Myers,
bro.
Has he been a part of football? Am I missing something?
Not to my knowledge, no. I think he did talk with John Lynch a little bit during his time with the Warriors, but how deep those conversations go. I mean, I don't think he has much insight. If anything, I would guess that it's maybe just the contacts that Bob Myers has, but I really don't know. Maybe if it's just leadership qualities that Bob has seen. I don't know.
Is there a Kevin Durant in football?
Who would be the Kevin Durant of football? No, I don't.
Odell?
Think so.
No.
Have to be a lot better.
Yeah. It's not.
Not really.
It's just way too different.
It's too different. I'm just saying, is there a guy that's going to just fix everything?
No.
So, by the way, the fired Monday, I know they call it Black Monday or whatever it is, but Arthur Blank has been
he got it quick. Mm-hmm. He got it day up.
Yeah.
I don't even think he made it to Monday.
Why do they call him Arthur Blank? Isn't it Smith?
No, this is from Arthur Blank. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay. This is from Arthur Blank.
My bad.
No, you're good. And then Adam Schefter also reporting that the Commanders fired head coach Ron Rivera. So Arthur Smith and Ron Rivera, both fired.
Belichick, do you think we're going to see anything today?
We keep hearing about
it's already
a trade.
3 hours ahead.
A possible trade with Belichick. Somebody said Belichick could get traded
to the Chargers? Falcons.
I heard, yes, both.
Huh.
Belichick,
what about the Raiders?
No.
You think Raiders are locked in on Harbaugh?
Yeah, I do. Harbaugh to the Raiders makes a lot of sense.
Antonio Pierce, I just saw some videos this morning, him leaving the game last night, all just hyped up, cheering, high-fiving everyone. Kind of, I don't know.
It would be crazy if the Raiders do it twice where they fire a coach mid-season and then the interim head coach gets the locker room on his side and then they move on again after the Rich Bisaccia thing.
The Bisaccia one was worse because they made the playoffs. That was
right.
But that team was better.
But spiritually, this team was done. Again, I was at the game where they were at rock bottom. Okay, 3-0.
But that was on Antonio Pierce's watch.
No, it was. But for them to then score 63 3 days later or whatever it was, and then
beat the Chiefs
and get Devontae Adams to go out publicly and say he's the guy that I want. That's big. That's really, especially for, again, an organization that's about as low as you can get, even for Raider standards. It was pretty low this year, or helpless, I should say. I don't know. Harbaugh would definitely get people excited, but you better hope that thing works out because that's screaming pretty much what's our boy John Gruden 2.0.
John Gruden.
How about this? Harbaugh, Sam Darnold to the Raiders.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Excuse me?
No.
I think, Sam was just trying out for the team yesterday.
There's no more purgatory.
You think Sam's going to get a starting job next year?
No,
but I think he'll go somewhere where there might be a competition.
Yeah.
And that's
maybe
Washington.
Falcons or
Atlanta.
He'll be around.
He
did enough.
Yeah.
He did enough to be around. So, but I don't think he did enough to say, "Oh, you're going to start for us." I don't think that'll happen.
I don't think so at all.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, we have a ton of audio to play on this Jameis Winston situation. Jameis Winston got in victory formation and decided, hey, guys, we're going to score. So we have audio on that. We also are going to talk a little bit about the national championship. Do you care? Do you not? And we'll go over the NFL playoff matchup. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports, and SactownSports.com.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85 or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore. Great selection, great factory financing and incentive, and great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Book your free T-check and free exam at Revive Men's Health Sacramento. Now also offering affordable, cutting-edge weight loss medications. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Don't miss out on New Year's savings at Folsom Lake Kia. Low prices and payments on your favorite new Kia models. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 25 years or FolsomLakeKia.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We will be joined by the Drive Guys in the next segment. Ooh. A little bit of cross-talk.
We're already there. Wow.
Yes, it has flown by today as we have talked a lot about the Kings, talked a lot about the Niners, who we can talk about the Niners, but they're chilling. They have nothing to do.
Nope.
Nothing to do until, 2 weeks from now?
Nate, do we even know, like, do they practice this week? Is it just like shells and warm-ups, walkthroughs?
What I heard from Matt Mayoko last night on the 49ers postgame, which I chose to watch instead of the Kings.
It's the right decision.
Yes. Is that they're going to have a couple 3 to 4 days of hard practices coming up, and then basically essentially walkthroughs for
hard practice.
And hard practice is first and then walkthroughs?
That's what I heard on the TV. So I yeah, and TV's never wrong, internet's never wrong. But I guess that's essentially the play, which I think yeah, you go hard, you get, and then you kind of get healthy and you start going through the motions.
Right.
And why would you have the hard practice right before the game?
They also don't know their opponent yet either, so it's not like you can really start scheming.
Yeah.
Either.
Hard practice for that. Also, a lot of the opponents are guys they've already played.
True.
You start scheming for those teams, but whatever. That's the plan. That's the plan essentially.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, they get to kick it for now. They get to hang out, and that's what they deserve, because when you ball out the way they did all season and you get that first seed, and now we get to talk about, is it too much time?
Yeah,
because that's what everybody does. All right, it is time to break down the shellacking that the Falcons were winning that game at one point, I'm fairly sure. I mean, Desmond Ridder was kind of balling, and then all of a sudden it went left. And it went left to the point where Jameis Winston was in the game. And Jameis Winston, I guess the story goes that Dennis Allen said, hey, victory formation. There was an interception.
Yeah. They got it down to the 1 yard line.
Mm-hmm. And it said, hey, victory formation, get out of here. And Jameis Winston said, no, we're not just getting out of here. We're going to stand on business and a type of business. And we have Jameis Winston, what he had to say. And he got asked about running it up on Atlanta. Nate, we got that? Running it up?
Mm-hmm. Anytime Jameis talks, it's worthwhile. So
fairly quickly, or you know what I mean? I think it should be forgotten, especially when the score is already 41-17. So I don't know how much worse it can get. But I got a ton of respect for Arthur Smith and the coach that he is. I think they do some incredible things. I didn't want to disrespect. That was not my intention. My intention was to lead the team that I've been with the entire year, and we made a collective decision that we wanted to get one of our guys who they fight with blood, sweat, and tears every game in the end zone, and I'm gonna feel good about that.
So
interesting.
Yeah, I listened to that, and look, I'm always on the side of this isn't Little League.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
you want to stop us,
right? You want to stop us. So here is Shannon Sharp, who goes on First Take this morning, and he is on the complete opposite side of this thing. Here's what he had to say.
But I'll say this. I would cut Jameis Winston today. I would not want him on my team. That's loser's mentality. And people will say, well, Shannon, what about when Dan Marino fake spiked the ball or Peyton Manning? They were not in victory formation. If you get down, the defense is conceding. If you want to run the ball, let the defense line up. Don't you fool them, think this a victory formation, and then drive off the ball. You mean to tell me that's going rogue? Dennis Allen's going to probably have to go because his players have no respect for him. Right. He said they sent victory formation in, but that's right. We made a decision. I'm sorry, Molly. I would cut Jameis Winston today. If I'd have been on that team, let me tell you what, I'd have jumped off sides on purpose. There's a mentality that you got to have if you want to play winning football. Jameis Winston has a loser's mentality. That's why they didn't win in Tampa. That's why Tom Brady came there, took the same team, and went to the Super Bowl. Look at what Baker Mayfield did with basically the same team, got him in the playoffs, something that Jameis Winston couldn't do.
How is it a loser mentality to run up the score?
Maybe not listening to your coach.
Act like you've been there before, I guess.
Yeah.
I just disagree. I mean, I think it was I hear what Shannon's saying in the sense of you overrule the coach like that. It's not great. It's not a great look. Something has to be done. A conversation needs to be had. It's week 18. Mm-hmm. Dude, I think from what I understand, this was all about a contract incentive as well, right? Mm-hmm. So, is it the best look? No, but no harm, no foul. No one got hurt. I mean, how many times in victory formations do defenders end up pushing way harder than the offensive side who's just giving up? Like, I don't know. Shannon, to me, right there,
I don't know.
That's a little first take-ish.
Well, I don't know if you can say, hey, guys, we're going to run this football, right? Or I guess change out of victory formation. I'm not sure how all of that works. A lot of people felt like before they knew. So Dennis Allen gets cussed out by Arthur Smith and the coaching staff. And you can see Dennis Allen say something. I'm assuming he said, hey, man,
my bad.
That wasn't me or something. Or probably just said, hey.
I think he said that's not us, actually.
Right.
I think he said that's not our football team.
Right. Yeah. And at the time, Arthur Smith doesn't know that. And they felt like, hey, this guy is already – I saw something that
I'm about to get fired in like 20 minutes.
This guy's already about to get canned. You're kind of dancing on his grave. And really the cut was too long, but there's a 3-minute cut where Jameis is going back and forth with the reporter. Mm-hmm. And the reporter is saying, I just don't think that was a good idea. And by the way, not to bring this back to the Kings.
Jameis Winston not having good ideas.
Right. Not to bring this all the way back to the Kings, but I've never heard anybody in the media have a back and forth. I haven't been here for too long, but I've never, not this season, there's been no back and forth. Yeah. Right now, look, the Saints did miss the playoffs, so it's a little bit different, but you did do it against the Falcons, who are even worse than you somehow, right? So the reporters going back and forth with Jameis saying, I don't think that's a good idea because you guys play these guys twice a week. And Jameis is saying, so you're not disagreeing with me, you're disagreeing with the team and the team's decision. And the coach and the reporter is saying, well, it wasn't the team's decision because the coach
handed
said,
the ball off.
Right. The coach said, and Jameis said, well, we decided as a team. So there's a whole back and forth there.
Sure.
I'm
chicken or the egg.
I'm on the side of, if you don't like it, I guess Shannon's problem isn't going for it. And Jameis just saying, I don't know, you're already losing 41-17. I don't know how much worse it's going to get. I think Shannon is just upset that it was done in a sneaky way. Just, hey, guys, we want to run it.
Sure.
I don't know. But, yeah, saying Dennis Allen, I don't know if Dennis Allen was going to get fired anyway, but saying that Dennis Allen needs to get fired because they don't respect him. So if you listen to Jameis, it didn't sound like that to me. It just felt like, we just felt like scoring.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for sure. Yeah. I don't think Jameis meant any ill will by it at all. I mean, I feel like, he was just thinking about, he probably thought it was honestly a good team move. I mean, like he said, he's putting the decision on the team itself. I think he probably thought like, this is good for our locker room. It's good for morale. It's something to celebrate. And we beat these dudes up and we got our money. Like that's all you want. That's exactly what you play for. And I could see how Jameis wouldn't see the bad side of it. And frankly, I think this is kind of overblown as well. Like, I mean, y'all were getting absolutely destroyed. It was a pretty harmless moment. And I don't know. I just think this is much ado about nothing. And this to me, if anything, is people getting upset about nothing.
Yeah. I would agree. Real quick before we get to a break, we have sound. This is Gilbert Arenas again on his pod. Gilbert, I mean, what is he putting out? 2 pods a week? 3 pods a week? Is he podding every day?
It seems like it.
And he always has a lot to say. This time around, he is roasting LeBron's teammates, and he gives a suggestion.
And Darvin Ham.
Got
a new nickname.
And gives a suggestion as to what the Lakers should do.
I'm speaking to LeBron, Richie Paul, Savannah. I don't care which one of y'all at this point do it, but look, just go to the locker room.
Where did that come from?
You put this in Prince's locker. You put this in Cam's locker. You don't say, when we get it, we know what to do. You fling this like this. You put all your shit here, and you get the arena, okay? Because as long as they on this team, that mother with the ball head and the bump gonna keep putting their asses in the game. As long as they on the team, I don't know what he's seeing there. It's like he's trying to relive his career and wish someone put his sorry ass in the game, okay? 3 people played, they scored 4. Pretty sure we can go 4. We can do 4 to get them on out of here, man. I'm sorry. Ain't no damn way that these guys should be put in the game anymore. I'm sorry. I commend you for the heavy duty.
Thank you, Nate. That was great editing.
That was a trash bag, by the way.
Yes.
That was a trash bag, by the way, that you should just put in everybody's locker. And I know he's talking about Taurean Prince is one of them. Yep. Okay, a couple different guys that, the Lakers just not playing too much or are playing too much. And I don't know if you just ship them out or whatever the plan is. But, it's a mess. out there.
The dude with the bump on his head got me. That guy.
I mean, Gilbert Arenas
I'm
is just
sorry.
he's all over the place, but that's kind of what it is. Real quick, Chris, national championship. Okay, tonight.
Yeah.
Michigan, Washington. You in, you out?
Can I get Gus Johnson to ask me that?
Where are they playing?
Houston,
yeah.
NRG Stadium.
Houston, home of James Harden, where they will have the national championship.
Swamp.
The Michigan in the swamp. The Wolverines against the Huskies of Washington. Penix, Harbaugh. It's coming here next.
The future Raiders head coach.
Future Raiders head coach.
So good. Oh my gosh. I'll be watching. I'm actually surprised. I feel like I do like Michigan. I like Harbaugh. I like how psychotic he is. It really makes me laugh. And Michigan's always been trying to kind of get over this hump for pretty much my entire life.
Yeah.
Michigan has been a good program, but one that has not gotten over the hump of actually succeeding at the highest level. So saying that, I am rooting for Washington. I don't think it's likely.
You're rooting for Washington.
I usually don't root for the underdog in these kind of situations either.
Pac-12.
But I like Penix, man.
Yeah.
I like the Penix
Say
story.
goodbye to the Pac-12.
It's send off to the Pac-12. It would be so poetic if the year that the Pac-12 finally gets a champion is their final year of existence. Everything that they've been building towards is all just crushed. It's really, really beautifully terrible in a certain way. But I think I'm going to be watching and rooting for Penix.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Michigan is just going to be able to keep Washington from scoring as much. Look, Penix, a lot of people are worried about drafting him because of his injury history.
Yeah.
But if he's able to, he's going to be an older quarterback in the draft.
Right.
I think that somebody is definitely, that arm talent is something else. So somebody's definitely going to take a chance. By the way, before we get to a break, Michigan is favored by 5.
What are you ranking this from a watchability standpoint too? Just if you had to guess, not now watchability, but if you had to guess how watchable this game would be, to me, I don't know why. Feel like this is really trending towards like a 24-14 ugly, Michigan just grinded out and no one really.
That's what Michigan
aesthetically
wants
pleases.
it to be.
Yeah.
Right. But because I don't think they can get into a shootout.
I don't think so.
And Blake Corum, their guy, if Washington is scoring too much, I don't think JJ McCarthy, they don't want to throw the football all over the field.
No.
So if they can't if they can't stop Washington, then it could be Washington wins. It's more aesthetically pleasing.
Yep.
Michigan wins. It's less aesthetically pleasing, less watchability.
Yep.
If Michigan has it their way. All right. Got to get to a break. We have the crosstalk next. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sport.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. People come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
That doesn't sound good.
Paper shredder's jammed, but I think I fixed it.
Oh, well, try shredding these $50 bills then.
Seems like it's working.
Better try another $400.
Stop. Instead of using money, use regular paper. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
New year, new you. And what better way to start fresh than with a new ride from Elk Grove Kia? Nothing beats second. Whether it's a second shot at love, a second shot at life, or even seconds at the all-you-can-eat buffet. But when it comes to your next car, no one believes more in second chances than Elk Grove Kia. Bankruptcies, challenged credit, no problem. Our finance department specializes in turning challenges into triumphs. We guarantee no one does challenged credit better than us. Elk Grove Kia can get you into a new ride in 2024. Elk Grove Kia's finance department has over 100 years of combined experience. Elk Grove Kia's team can navigate even the most challenging credit pasts. We understand that life happens, and we're here to help you move forward in a brand new Kia. So don't wait any longer when you could be enjoying 2024 in a brand new Kia. Head over to Elk Grove Kia today in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or visit elkgrovekia.com. Your second chance awaits. New year, new you, new ride. Only at Elk Grove Kia.
Get $3 off coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Visit sportsexpos.com for locations, seminars, and show info. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th at Cal Expo.
We wanna see you with it, show could treat you right. Give me just a minute of your time tonight. We both are here to have big fun, so let it rip.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, couple more minutes with you before it's the Drive Guys.
Those guys.
That's right. With Jay filling in for Mr. Draper, who is on the road again, but Kevin Michael Whitey Gleason is in the building. And, you know, talked a little bit about it before we came back on the air, but if you were hoping to hear Whitey as upset as Chris and I were about Podium Gate, unfortunately, you will not.
I also disagree with you guys completely on the Jameis Winston and the kneel down thing.
Really? So you're with Team Shannon? Team Shannon Sharp?
If you're going to run a play, okay, but if you're going to kneel, you're going to go in victory formation and then run a play?
So what's the
So what about the Marino thing? What about the Marino fake spike? And
they're trying to win a game.
Okay.
Yeah. So if Jameis wanted to do this the right way, would he have had to call time? Hey, coach, we actually want to run a play. Is that cool?
Sure.
And then come back out. Or could he have audibled? Like, you know what I mean? Hey, audible out of victory formation. I hear what you're saying because that's what we had said. It's the sneaky part of it that it's the Bush League-ness of the victory formation.
We're victory formation, guys.
Not running.
We're going to kneel down. We're going to kneel down. Oh, no, we got you. Well, you're already way ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, I hear you on that. But yeah, it's not so much running up the score. It's they're not in a position to defend it, even if they wanted.
So I also didn't see the play before the interception that got them to the one. Do we know, did they purposely go down at the one, or was that like they actually got tackled? Like, was the play before that a play that was, okay, hey, let's not run the score up, let's go down?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we were all watching the Kings game at that point, unfortunately.
Well, if you want to call it a game.
Yeah. That event.
Yeah.
That event, the happening, if you will.
The happening.
But as far as a Keon Ellis gate, I mean, De'Aaron Fox didn't talk to anybody, right? That's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
De'Aaron Fox didn't talk to reporters yesterday.
Yeah. No, I think we focused on that. I mean, our big problem was I think our big problem was that it's the accountability. It's the fact that Mike Brown has been asking for leadership internally, and nobody feels the necessity to go out and get in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's got to be somebody. Like, and at the end of the day, everyone should have acknowledged this just can't be Keon Ellis. Like,
yeah.
I just can't be Keon Ellis making that walk. I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I can't wait to put this behind us.
Well,
hopefully.
Well, De'Aaron's already put it behind him.
That's
put
right.
It behind him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Early yesterday.
Got to flush it. And now they go on the road, just like Kyle Draper is on the road again. And they are coming to the end of this quote unquote easier part of their schedule. You got the Sixers coming up January 12th, and then you go into Milwaukee. So hopefully the Kings can figure it out. That's it for Stiles and Watkins. Thank you to Nate. Thank you to Emil Fergoso. We will talk to you tomorrow. The Drive guys are up next with Whitey Gleason and Jay Johnson in for Kyle Draper. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, light the beam.
What?
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone.